because it's called The Second Bite of the Apple.
Rolling already, Andrew?
We can, yeah. Okay, cool. Go for it.
Yeah, so we're chatting here with, am I on? Yeah, I think so. Okay. We're rapping over here with Marc Lobliner, and he's talking about business and talking about selling some businesses. What's been going on?
Man, it's been it's good to be here.
It's always good to have you here.
We got to pretend like we just started talking though. Oh. We've been talking nonstop since I got here.
We have.
It's been great. Business, training. I talk a lot. I have a lot to say. A lot to say. By the way, I missed these, man. I ran out of mind bullets.
Oh, there you go.
So good. Anyway,
you got a Mind Bullet, you got an Outright bar, you got a Monster. You're ready to go.
I'm good, man. I'm going to be hydrated. I mean, we can't go too long. I'm going to have to pee really bad when we get going. But man, it's good to be here, man. Good to be here.
Always good to have you here.
Man, he already had to poop. It was great.
Twice. This is the fourth one.
Yeah, I saw him walking around with baby wipes.
Yeah. Yeah, once he walked into the room, it's like
that was the first thing you said.
Yeah, because like I was farting in secret, but it was a little bit more than that. So then I said hi to you and ran to the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Farting in secret. How does that work?
You just, you just
don't announce it.
And you just don't announce your farting.
Try to not make it too loud.
But it was dangerous, dude. It ended up being dangerous. I had to.
No. And you don't think people are noticing?
Well, when we're walking like this, you know what I mean?
You got that waddle going, and people are like
deep cheeks.
Sometimes you get that morning thing where you go to the gym and it's like, and you're like cutting it on time. Like maybe you have a meeting or something afterwards. You're like, do I have? Can I make this? Can I make it through this entire workout without having to use the restroom? We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
It's especially in the morning. That's why I hate training first thing in the morning. That one reason, because I know that like into like the second exercise, I'm gonna get the tickle. I'm just gonna feel the tickle. I'm like, uh-oh.
And you have IBS too, right?
Yeah, it's under control, but I can get it. Yeah. And if you have IBS, when you have to go, there's no like I'm gonna delay this. No, you're pulling over. You're going to the bathroom, or you're going to the bathroom. But you want to go where it's supposed to go, not in your pants.
We were legit about to start this podcast talking about something,
educational,
and educational. And then you had to bring us to the shit.
I sunk our ship.
But you're the one that did poop, so
I didn't bring it up though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you put it on our minds.
But
time for bar number 2,
dude.
You're getting 10,000 calories of Outright bars a day. I love it. Everybody, you should do that.
You could look like Nsima.
Dude, I gotta say, like these. Okay, so
they're
really
your
good.
biceps.
They're really fucking tasty. But like, how it is a health bar too.
Yeah.
Great ingredients, but how do people stop themselves from having more than one?
Self-control.
So good.
Self-control. It's just like cocaine. Gotta have self-control. Just use cocaine on weekends.
Yeah.
Or when you don't sleep well enough. But we were actually talking about business. See that segue? So we were actually discussing, for those who don't know, in June of last year, we actually brought on some partners for Ambrosia, the company I own with Microsheet and Shantor Body. And we were just discussing the processes it takes to sell a business, which I think that people don't think about, because as business owners, you can live a really comfortable life. But I don't think you really acquire generational wealth of any means until you actually sell the company. For a lot of people, a lot of businesses, obviously someone who runs a $500 million company is different than someone who runs a $10 million brand, right? But if you go by how a company is valuated, a $10 million brand, if they have $1 million in EBITDA, okay, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization.
Kind of the actual value of the company.
Yeah, and so EBITDA is usually the measurement. So if you go 5 to 7 times EBITDA, you have $1 million in EBITDA. You're looking at 5 to 7 million that you can sell the business for. And if you own even 50% of that, that means you get 2.5 to whatever, $3.5 million, which is for a lot of people enough to at least have a nest egg where your kids will be taken care of, vested in. Even a Roth IRA, you got 10 to 50% lifetime growth. That's good money. That's generational wealth. So until you actually sell your business, a lot of people don't realize when you own a business, you're probably not stinking rich. Most business owners you see, if they're driving these fancy cars, the reason they're getting that, a lot of them are using them as business vehicles. They're using that as a depreciation or a lease or however they're doing it. But until you actually sell a business, I don't think I've ever been man, I'm feeling so relaxed. I'm not financially worried until we actually did that deal. And it was an amazing situation because it's a great partner. We still run the brands just like we did. We just get to do cooler things because we have more resources.
A lot of times when you are in the middle of running a business, you have a lot of money out and you're getting money in, but you're always thinking about like you got to have inventory. You have to be up to date on whatever trends are with marketing. You don't want to be like running things so slim that you barely have any money in the bank. You want to make sure you have enough to cover yourself, cover all your employees in case something weird happens. So there's all these factors, even when you're making a lot of money. It's just that those things will be at like a larger scale. So even when you're making a lot of money, you most likely need a lot of inventory. So you'll still have a lot of money out. And you might most likely will start to acquire more and more employees over time as well.
So the main issue with running a business that isn't vested, that does not have investors, that does not have PE money or private equity money, is you're always playing the game of less money coming in than money going out. And that's what happens when you scale a business. For example, we talk about the outright bar. The problem with this, every time I grow, I'm spending more to get more inventory than I actually have in inventory. And then people pay net, like big accounts. Walmart's not paying you sooner than 90 days, right? GNC Vitamin Shop, 30 to 60 days if you're lucky. So you're paying your vendors in 15 to 30. They're not paying you in 60 to 90. Okay, so when you actually do a distribution model where you're selling to stores and grocery stores and who we have, H-E-B, Giant Eagle, all these big accounts, I can literally have accounts receivable. I can look on the books like I'm making a ton of money. I can look on the books like I'm plus 2 million in the positive. But in reality, I have negative 200,000 in my bank account because those are on the AR. Those are accounts receivable, but I'm pumping money out to keep inventory up so I don't run out. So I can literally be on paper crushing it, but in my bank account, completely dead. And that's where companies fail. Then you get someone defaulting. You know, I just heard of one company, a manufacturer of ours, screwed over by a company, $5 million. $5 million they had to write off. So they were expecting this money to come in. Their books were showing positive. They default on it. And that's happened to us. With one account, we were negative $700,000 last year.
Wow. What's the most amount of money you ever had to eat just due to the fact that like inventory was bad or spoiled or destroyed or messed up? So you ever had a situation like that where it's 50,000, 100,000, 200,000? It's
mainly accounts defaulting with credit or just not paying their bills. Usually getting screwed in that manner. But as far as spoilage, I've always had an out. For example, if I have a product that's going to expire, with tigerfitness.com, we have a direct site. So we can actually just run a deal and blow it out. So I don't have a spoilage issue, but you look at companies like Quest, One, any of those companies, and the thing about protein bars, consumable goods, it's a 12-month shelf life, but you want to sell it right away. After about 12 weeks, it's a ticking time bomb because it's a baked good. So people will be like, hey, I bought outright bars. They were hard. Well, they were just probably at that store a little longer than they should have been. Let me send you a free case to replace it. And I always do that if someone reaches out. But with a consumable good, you always have that opportunity that it's going to get hard, that it's going to change. So you're writing off on a low margin product, probably 20% of your inventory on spoilage. So people look, they're like, dude, outright bar's killing it. I saw it at Quick Trip. I saw it at H-E-B. It's at Hy-Vee. And I'm like, that's great. Hopefully they sell it really fast or else those things are going to turn into rocks. You can literally protect your head. You don't need guns. We don't need gun control. We need hard outright bar control. Because I remember the first time I realized this is I went into an account to do an event before I owned bars, and they had a box, like a big, like a box, like a moving box of Quest bars. And they were on sale for 50 cents. And I picked one up. Oh, yeah. I could have literally clubbed somebody with it. I could have clubbed a baby seal and PETA would have been all over me with a Quest bar. This thing was harder than a rock, harder than a hammer. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't care if it's free. There's no way I'm going to waste my calories on this. Outright bar a little bit better because we have it where if they do, being that they're whole food, stick it in the microwave for 20 seconds, it's good as new. Oh, yeah. So even if it's 12 months, we've done the tests. We've done it. I've done it for 20 months. And if you microwave it, it turns into damn near perfect.
Microwave gives you cancer, though.
Yeah, I mean, but you're right. But at least you're not eating hard bars. It's a give and take, right?
I'm fucking around.
Yeah,
we just have so many different things, like the plastics and it's just like the list of shit goes on and on and on with health and nutrition.
Well, now they had an article the other day that said that plants feel pain. I'm like, so now the vegans can't even talk. Like, what can we eat? Like, what's on the list? Like, what is on the menu today? We can't eat meat. We can't eat veggies. We can't eat plants. Okay, I have no idea what to do now. And but I guess we can eat bugs. And bug proteins. Have you looked into cricket protein?
I've seen some stuff about it. Yeah,
it's actually really good. It's got more protein. Like the content of protein and the amino acid profile is actually pretty freaking good. It's not bad. Now, I don't want to eat bugs unless it's somehow
okay.
Tell
us about your bug protein business. Go ahead, plug it. Go ahead.
Not yet, but
it's happening.
No, but after this conversation, might as well collaborate and start a new LLC and have Mark and Mark's bug protein, and Nsima can be the model.
I'm good.
You don't want the crickets?
Well, they do sell like those types of little cricket stuff in South Africa and other places. So I don't want to be that guy. I can't do it.
Little crickets.
Just have an African child on the smiling with his cricket protein.
Nothing like an African child as our spokesperson.
God damn it.
South African is like an Elon South African or like an African South African?
Both. I mean, he's African. I mean, he's not black.
He's an African American.
Technically, he is an African American since he also has American citizenship. Yes.
Well, there you go. There you go. I'm glad to see his people make it finally.
All right, back to your sale. Tell us more about this sale, because you were mentioning it was a lot of work.
So, I mean, there's something called due diligence where literally the company's that's acquiring another company kicks the tires. And it's a necessary process where they look at all of your books, all of your processes, what you do, how you do it. One of it is to make sure that you're not faking things, right? Like you're not faking any numbers. And another is to figure out if the acquisition does go through, what the strategy is to be able to optimize and grow the brand. Because one of the main things, obviously getting a big check and being able to provide your family with that's why I started my business. One was to help people. My mom was a drug dealer. I think we've gone over this on this podcast before. My mom was a drug dealer. Dad died of complications of type 2 diabetes. So there's an altruistic reason why I went into health and fitness. But a very close second is to provide my kids with generational wealth. I think all of us want that as parents, as just good people, right? And so to be able to, to get that money, to be able to get that check, that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. And so, but the main thing is, I think as a business owner, if you're looking to scale, you have to realize that you're not strong in a lot of things. For me, I think I'm the closest thing, in my opinion, you might completely disagree and hate me for this, I'm the closest thing to Mark Bell than anybody, because we're both inventors who kind of figured out as we go. You invented the slingshot and a bunch of other things. You've basically made other things a lot better. Like I was talking about earlier, even without the camera, it's like, dude, your sleeves are insane. Like I won't even look at other sleeves. Like you've done so much to make things better, right? So, but one thing, I invent things and I'll build a company from 10 to 20 million in my sleep. I could do that tomorrow. I can't build a 50, 100, 200, $300 million company. I don't know what to do. So the partners give you the experience and the wherewithal and the knowledge to be able to take a company from 10, 20, 30 million to 50, 60, 100 plus million. And they have the systems in place to be able to do that, and the financing in place, the funding in place. We talked about the cash flow with the outright bar, right? If you have a war chest where you're able to access and tap into millions of dollars, you no longer, so if Walmart places a PO tomorrow for $2 million, I couldn't fill that. I couldn't, if Walmart places that, I couldn't fill the order. I'd be like, sorry, I'd have to go find funding or turn a lot of tricks, which I'm not adverse to. But
let me ask you a side question here, just a hypothetical. because I think people are kind of confused on this. What does it mean to be like part owner of a company? I recognize it can mean a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But let's just take the outright bar, and let's just say that you want to sponsor Mark Bell's Power Project, and Andrew and I and Nsima, we become partners with you on the outright bar.
Yeah.
How and when do we get paid, or does it just depend?
So obviously you work out a compensation package. So, okay, let's say you guys, let's say you get acquired and they give you your money. They want you to stay on for generally 2 to 3 years, sometimes 5, usually 3 is the average, because you don't want to take out what made that company great. You don't want to take it out. So generally the officers, the C-suite, the CEO, COO, whatever, and sometimes all the employees, they stay on board with a 3-year contract as either a contracted employee or a straight up W-2. So that's where you negotiate. That's part of the negotiations in due diligence, is how much am I worth to this company to stay on?
So you wouldn't really get much payment until the company was bought.
So
because I think that's confusing for people, because they want to be part owner of stuff, but sometimes they don't recognize that might mean that you have to just like not really make any money for a while.
It's a long-term play. You know, like when I started with Tiger Fitness, we launched MTS, I don't think I paid myself for the first year or 2. And I just lived off of what I made when I sold Civation, which burned out really quick. You'd be amazed when you're not getting paid how fast money goes. But it was basically, it allowed us to put the resources into growing Tiger Fitness and MTS Nutrition. So I look at the first sale as a net zero. I don't think I made anything because I used that money to start something bigger and better. And as it gets bigger and better, then you get to the pay dirt where you no longer have to take all your earnings from the previous sale. So normally if you're an entrepreneur, your first sale is not it's not your cash out. It leads to you being able to have the freedom to do something else and make it bigger and better. And that's the growth process. Again, I've been doing this since 2004. That's when I started Civation. And it wasn't until probably 2 years ago when I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm in a good spot. I don't stress about finances. You know, I'm not worried if egg prices go up by 30%. I'm good. I don't have to budget. I think freedom for me financially is being able to go to the grocery store and not worry and not budget and be able to buy the organic chicken if I want to. For me, that's freedom. I'm not a car guy. You know, I have a nice car, but it's an SUV. I have to. I have like a bunch of kids I'd take around, right? But I mean, we don't have Lambos or Raris or anything. I mean, we have normal cars. And that's not I'm not hating on people who buy really nice cars. I love cars. But again, up until 2 years ago, my main concern is I want to take everything I make and put it into my kids' future and put it into the businesses that will give them that generational wealth. And I think when you look at being an entrepreneur, just realize that you never truly work for yourself. We don't work for ourselves. We work for our customers and we pay taxes. We work for the government. So just look at it that way. There's no such thing as autonomy. Oh, I'm going to do what I want to do. Dude, I work way more hours than anybody I know who works for someone else. Put that in, I'm sure you do too. You do. You guys are always doing something.
Always.
You came out with friggin' sandals. Buying a pair on the way out, by the way.
Yeah, it's, I think originally you think I'm going to, do this and I'm going to, work for myself. And you kind of are, I guess, in the beginning.
Yeah.
But ultimately everyone has somebody to answer to. And ultimately, it is important. The quicker that you can recognize that you are servicing an audience, even if it's podcasting, the quicker that you can recognize you're servicing an audience, the better off you're going to be. The faster that you can get better at your trade and accommodate them in a better way.
Absolutely. There's nothing I love more than answering every Instagram DM about a lost order I still answer all of those myself because, and also if you get we send out emails from Tiger Fitness. If you reply to that email, it goes to me. Like I never want to remove myself from that because a lot of people get too caught up. They forget about the customer. The customer is everything. Nothing exists without the customer. People look for this magical thing. How about just give a shit about people's results and give a shit about how they feel? So whether people like my opinions or not in the real world, if you're a customer of Tiger Fitness, if you're a customer of Ambrosia, if you're a customer of anything, or if you just send me something, I'm going to do my best to help you. You know what I mean? So whether we agree, disagree, or you think I'm good or bad, if you're a customer on a business standpoint, I'm there 100% of the time. And I'd rather, if I have an email from if I have an email from Europa, David Hayes, who's my buyer over there, if I have an email from him or just a guy who bought a $50 tub of protein, I'm answering the $50 tub of protein first versus a $100,000 PO any day of the week, because that $100,000 PO means nothing if that guy who spent $50 doesn't buy it. That's where business owners lose sight. They look at the macro. You got to look at the micro. The micro is everything.
Would you guys say, as far as like being part of a business, as far as like kind of building your assets, is it something like buying a house? What I mean is like the house that I live in, like I'm losing a lot of money on it because I'm paying on it, but eventually that value is going to be super high and I'll be able to like cash out if I wanted to. Is it anything similar to that?
I think any investment is that. And housing is a perfect example where, yeah, you're spending money, but instead of renting at the end of that, you're going to be able to sell it and recoup your money. And I think those of you who listen to Dave Ramsey, who's a fellow Franklin, Tennessee guy, he's one of those guys, 100% of people who foreclose on their house have a mortgage. Pay off your house, get rid of that debt. And that way, when you sell it, you get to keep all the money. So you're living rent free, obviously pay property tax, which could have another whole conversation about overtaxation. But at the end of the day, the less debt you have, and I know there's a lot of crypto bros and investment bros who are like, nah, man, you want to get if I can make 10% on this, I'll spend 5% on interest. I'm one of those like, yeah, but you don't know you're going to get 10%. I do know that interest is 5%. So you want to operate your business. Obviously there's different taxation. So you can't show too much of a profit. Oh God, this could be a 12-hour podcast if I get into this. Because are you an S Corp, may I ask?
No.
Okay, S Corps, you pay on your inventory. So if I'm sitting 1 year, paid myself $50,000, and I had a $280,000 tax bill.
What?
So S Corps are taxed on inventory and asset. So I was taxed on every piece of inventory in Tiger Fitness's warehouse.
Oh no.
And this is back in 2012, 2013. I think that was when we first started drawing. Like 50 G's. 50 grand. I pay that's not enough to raise a family of 5 living the way I want to live. Mm-hmm. You can get by, but I don't want to live in a trailer, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to that level. And I was driving a minivan and a Ford Fusion and I had a $280,000 tax bill. So that's
perfect timing.
Good sound effects. Yeah.
I mean, if people, that's why, and you get it too. And we all get it probably. Oh, must be nice. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. It's really hard to own businesses. It's really hard to make it. 94% of businesses fail. And the government sets it up where it's almost like they want you to fail. And then people talk like, oh, these evil business owners. Oh, they're so evil. Oh, the man. It's like, hold on. And you know what? If I make enough money and I'm going to buy a big ass house in a Lambo, I deserved it. You know why? Because I scraped and scrounged for every dollar I had. And I put in that sacrifice and I risked everything. I had a 6% chance of making it. So if someone looks at me and like, oh, it must be nice. Yeah, it is nice, motherfucker. I worked for every single thing. I built every brick on this house. My family was the one not getting a paycheck. My employees got paid. Sometimes we didn't. Mm-hmm. So owning a business is a sacrifice. So to think that you're going to oh man, I can't wait to have all this time when I start a bit. Shut up. It's not going to happen.
I've had some conversations with my son when he was younger about this kind of stuff. And he would talk about when he was always been smart to politics and all these different things, even when he was young. But he said something about Jeff Bezos one time. So then we got into a discussion because I always thought it was important to have conversation and to give both sides of the story. And he was just basically saying, he doesn't like Jeff Bezos because he's rich or whatever, or because he's got this conglomerate of a company, this giant company. And I said, well, when do you think someone like that for you would fall out of favor? When would you not like them anymore? Because Jeff Bezos' business started the same way that your mom and dad's business started, from his garage.
Books. He sold books.
He sold books. He had an idea. I don't know if his idea from the get-go was some evil take over the world. Maybe it was. Maybe he's like Dr. Evil. I don't know. But I would imagine that he wanted to try to find a place to supply people with books. He saw a future in the internet. He saw a future in the World Wide Web and being able to distribute books in that way and kind of get rid of some of the old model. And I mean, what he's done from a book perspective has never been done in the history of the world. He's spread more information around than anyone's ever seen before. Like, there's nothing that's even close to have mimicked that. But I just thought it was an interesting conversation. Like, when do you not like this person anymore? When do you think maybe he did go awry somewhere? Maybe he did stray somewhere. Maybe he morally had this particular intent, and then maybe somehow it got out of his hands somewhere else. But I think these are good practices to kind of walk through. Like, why wouldn't you like the owner of Facebook? Or why wouldn't you, why do you not like Elon Musk? Or, to question some of these things.
Money does change people, so I can see that. I've had business partners completely become different people with money. The one thing I can say about you is I'm assuming you have slightly more money than when I first met you, maybe just a couple dollars. You're the same motherfucker from now than you were back in the day.
Still talking about poop.
I mean, every time I come here, poop is the first thing, and usually it's you. But you threw me off today. I didn't expect
on purpose.
Like, bro, I gotta go. Like,
Excellence rubs off,
It was, yeah. You've definitely got a little bit of a.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And do you know who Richard Hart is? He's been around the industry a while.
Richard Hart or Hart?
Richard Hart.
Okay.
So he worked with me at Weeder, and we started traveling together. And he was a practical joker, just kind of like I literally started talking like him after a year. And my wife was like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. He's a great guy, but he just
You had a crush on him, huh?
No, we were just together so much. You start absorbing their personality traits. That's why I'm trying to hang out with Mike Rashid. Because Mike, I want to be like Mike.
He's a cool dude.
He's the coolest guy you'll ever meet. Yeah. And I get to be with him every day, basically, in some fashion, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, everything he does is cool. Like, if he said what you did about pooping, he'd make it so much cooler. Like,
just pull up a random video from Mike Rashid.
He'd make it a story, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, he's the funnest. It's so much fun to be surrounded by guys like that. Mm-hmm. But that's what it comes with. Another thing about business, if you're going to have a partner, get someone smarter than you or better at stuff that you suck at. Mm. I'm not very good at I would say the forecasting, planning. So, like, I have two, Chad Vordameshi at Tiger Fitness and Sean Torbati. Those are two guys who they thrive on that. They're spreadsheet masters. That allows me to go out. And so basically, if you have a partner, don't make it a carbon copy of you. Like, I would hate to have another guy like me in a company. It'd go nowhere. It'd be
You're
like,
a good people person. You're a good salesperson.
Yeah. And I'm good at management. Getting employees together. I'm good at managing meetings. I'm good at agendas. Like, outside of me being, like this, I'm the one in the meeting, like, here's the agenda, here's where we're going, boom, boom, boom. And then empowering the employees or my colleagues, I hate saying the word employee, to come up with their ideas. Like, I'm not there to hear myself talk. Like, these are, I posted about this the other day. It's like, I was just thinking, like, these are $1 million ideas and they're the ones in the trenches. And that's another thing when you're staffing a company, make sure you hire people and hire people who are good enough where you could let them be free. Let them have self-expression, self-thought, have them manage their own business. And if they mess up, correct it. But a lot of people go, no, this is the way our company does it. Do it. No. If we would have done that, we would have been a third of the size we are now. Mm. I want everybody from everybody from shipping to CTO. I want them to be themselves. I want them to be able to add their flair, their specialty. I want empowered employees. And I want them to love what they do and believe in the mission. That's what you want.
Let's say that you have this knowledge that you have right now and you're just starting to become an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Let's just say you've always kind of rubbed elbows with business people and you learned all these things and now you are leaving whatever other job you had previously and now you're going to start some of these brands that you even have now.
Yeah.
Would you do it with somebody else's money, or would you do it in a similar way? Would you just kind of put the cart before the horse and start going? Would you try to raise funds and raise money now that you have this knowledge?
The answer is no. And here's why. It's a lot easier to make mistakes when you're using someone else's money. There's something to be said about having to snowball it, right? I don't want to just go in and throw here's a huge snowball at the bottom. No, I want to start from the top. I want to go boom, 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 boom. Building a business is like learning how to walk. If you walk before you crawl, you will have serious developmental issues. There's a reason why kids crawl before they walk. Neurally, physiologically. If you have a business, in my opinion, obviously a lot of times it works. Like Ghost had money to start. Now they're, I think $300 million they're doing in the drink alone, or 200 million, some crazy number. I love Dan to death, and he made it work. For someone like me, I get up in the morning, like what drives me is being able to go, okay, let's get out there. Let's go to battle. Let's go to war. But when you're sitting there, you have a war chest of funds. Like I want to be like Poland in World War II. Germany came in with tanks, Panzer tanks. My dumb Polak ancestors were out there digging trenches like it was World War I. They held them off for a long time. They sooner or later got their ass kicked. But the French, they had stuff. They were like, we're good. Turn this into Vichy France. We're good to go. The Polish people were out there, and they were, every day they woke up, we're going to beat the tanks. We're going to outdig them. They lost, but they had that mentality that we're going to win. And they were fighting a battle that was unwinnable. And business is unwinnable. 6% chance of making it. 6%. 6%. If you can beat those odds, if you have a business and you turn it successful, you're awesome. Like, I don't care if you just have a local flower shop and you're doing $100,000 a year. Are you profitable? You're awesome. Can you pay your bills? You're the man. That's what I look at it. I like the challenge. And especially once you have money, like if you're no longer struggling to survive, if I'm no longer that kid from LA doing this, just trying to make it, right? Like what do you wake up for? I want struggle. I want to have that. I want to be after a trade show cleaning out a drink dispenser in the dirty bathroom that smells like protan and piss. For me, there's always a reason to have that. You need that drive. You need to kind of feel it. Yeah. And you won't appreciate the business as much. And that's hiring as well. We don't hire above. We promote from within. The reason being is that everybody in our company on Black Friday, everybody has shipped before. Everybody's answered a phone before. So, for example, our national sales manager, Matt, he started in shipping. Tyler, our procurement guy, started in shipping. Everybody should know every part of the company, and that's how you build that culture. A company or a team without culture doesn't work. High school teams, when I coach them, the teams that have the culture, that have the pride in where they play, they always do better. So you have to build that internal company culture. Why are you here? Why are you fighting this battle? What are your goals? What motivates you? And once you can figure that out, it's a cheat code. But you have to have everybody, from the person who cleans the bathroom to the person who programs, to the person who writes script, they all have to be on the same page.
Power Project family, your normal shoes are making you weak. This is why I partner with Vivo Barefoot Shoes, because they have a wide toe box, they're flat, and they're flexible. So with every single step you're taking, if you're taking a 10-minute walk outside, or when you're working out in the gym, your feet are able to do what they're supposed to do in this shoe. They have tons of options for hiking, running, training in the gym, chilling and relaxing, casual shoes for if you're out on a date. You need to check them out. And Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, that's over at vivobarefoot.com/powerproject, and you guys will receive 15% off your order automatically. Again, vivobarefoot.com/powerproject. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Along the same lines of what Mark mentioned, you were talking about how money changes people, right? How do you think that you've changed as a person as you've made more money? Like, what have you had to change about yourself to make more?
So as I've become more financially successful, I've become more personally successful as a man. Because when you're chasing a goal, for me, what I did is I forgot about why I was doing it. And I think that I was never a shitty father. I was never a shitty husband. My wife will probably debate me on that. But I put them second. And I missed my first 2 kids' first steps. I missed a lot of things. And now I'm playing catch up, which is impossible. So the one thing you can't do, the one thing you can't buy is time. I can't get back my daughter's childhood. I can't get back my son's first steps. But what I can do is now make sure I'm there every step of the way. And I also think that when you have that drive, you have to make a choice for a lot of people. Some people are able to balance it. I think from what I can tell, you've done a way better job than I have. And that's why I look to you. I would watch your stuff. I'm like, this guy's doing all this stuff. And like, he seems to be crushing it at home too. How do I learn from Marc? And right now, the way I've changed is I know my priorities in life. My priorities are family. And business is a vehicle to take that family to the next level, to give them stuff I never had. But what's the point of giving them stuff I've never had if they don't have a dad? Because fathers are critical. All this decay you're seeing in society, in my opinion, is largely due to the lack of fathers. But I don't think you can be successful owning a business if you don't make some sort of sacrifice at home. So yeah, there's people working 9-to-5s who are providing for their family, and they're able to go home. And I was always good at compartmentalizing. When I was with my kids, I'm with my kids. But I just wasn't with them enough. So now I've matured in that. I mean, my kids are my life. And I'm much more involved. And I try to be more emotionally there as a husband, because I'm not really, I'm not a coddler. I'm not like, I'm not into that. Like my kids, I'm not going to, and I realize that I do fail in the whole, like, I'm not going to sit there and cuddle my kids. I'm not that guy.
But the work you've done up until this point and the sacrifice you've made as far as the time with your kids and maybe the emotional availability that you didn't have with your wife at the time, that sacrifice allows you to have that time now, correct? So it was...
There's always a sacrifice. And I don't, at this point, I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
But man, it sucks. Like I'll be in a hotel room crying. I will, because I look back and I'm looking at old pictures and I'm like, I wasn't there, but again, it's a sacrifice. You look at it, not even a close comparison, but look at men who go off and fight wars. Look at military, like they're gone from their family. They miss births. Like that's a sacrifice for, well, not just your family, but for your country. So it's much bigger. So I almost look at it, again, I don't want to piss any veterans off. I almost look at it like I'm going to battle for my family, and back, if you looked at stories from World War II, like there were no jobs, like locally. People would literally leave their families and they'd homestead. So the mom and the kids would allow people to stay, like basically rent out rooms. And the dude would go off to a big city like Chicago, get a job. And that was what men did. So I look at it like, yeah, it does suck that I did it, but I think that's the ultimate sacrifice as a man, because our job is to provide. I think that's a critical component of being a man. And I know I'm going to piss off a bunch of these new age people who are anti-man or toxic masculinity. I like toxic masculinity. It means that my kids are happy. They have food on the table. They have a roof over their head. And men should do men shit. And for me, and maybe people disagree with this, that means providing.
Yeah, I think you chose a different sacrifice, because like I think we've all seen plenty of parents that they'll drop the kid off at daycare or school and they have to go to work because that they just have to pay the bills and they got to put food on the table. But they are sacrificing that time. They can never get that time back. You just chose a different way of sacrificing that time, because again, these parents, like, they can't do it any other way. Now, granted, if you gave them the option, like, hey, we're going to rip this off like a Band-Aid, you might miss the first step or the second step or whatever, but then you're going to get a lot more freedom and more free time to be with the kids. Which one would you pick? And I think they would all pick the route that you went, just because now, like, you blink and it's like, oh shit, my kid's in junior high and like we haven't like hung out because I got to go back to work. You know what I mean? At least in my opinion, I feel like most people would want to do it this way as opposed to the traditional way of dropping them off at daycare, go to work, pick them up, do homework, go to bed.
So, and also I think the example that they see that it takes hard work, that it doesn't just start raining money. You know what I mean? That it takes hard work to get there. And they saw that every step of the way, to the point my daughter turns 17 next week. 17, bro. I know you're saying, Mark, you're only 26. How's that possible?
Yeah.
So my daughter, she actually pitched me a year ago. She's starting her first company. It's called Lacuna Nutrition. And it's actually, she used to suffer from these hemiplegic migraines. And if you know what a hemiplegic migraine is, you stroke out.
Ooh.
Basically, I think her right side of her face would just go numb for hours, if not days. So we looked into what was causing it. And a lot of it was nutritional, even though she's in my house, like she's eating good, right? But there are certain vitamins and minerals that all youth female athletes are deficient in or very close to being deficient in. And she did all the research, what these girls need. She also looked at focus groups. Girls don't take pills. And also people want all natural formulas. So she came out and literally pitched me. She did everything. Obviously I'm helping her. She's my daughter. But she's like, we're going to come out with a product that addresses all these and put in a delicious drink. So it's it's a nutritional supplement for youth female athletes, totally niched out. But she pitched me on it, did the logo, did everything on her own. So right there, that's beyond a master's degree, what I've taught her. And next time I come here, when she's able to, when she starts college and a lot of it's remote, she's coming with, like, she's literally I've mentored her. Mm-hmm. She was the youngest Exos trainer. She went there at 14 years old, got her phase 1, youngest ever. So my daughter absorbed what I had. And even my dad did the same thing. He was out the door at 4:30 a.m., get to work. I remember hearing him like, get ready. You traveled. So I learned a lot from him. And I think you pass down the work ethic. You pass down all of the traits and all of the lessons that you can't just talk about it. You can't sit in a class in high school and learn. You have to witness it. And that's why people who are children of addicts, they usually are more likely to be addicts because it's monkey see, monkey do. It's nature and nurture, right? I don't think people are born. I do think people are more likely to be addicted. People aren't usually born like, your brain doesn't know you're going to be a cocaine addict. No, it's what you see. It's what you see is acceptable. And that's one reason I never drink around my kids. I don't want them thinking that's an okay, acceptable habit. So same thing, they watch us and they watch you, and your kids are watching you, and you might not even know it. And they're just watching you. And that's what's turning them into what they're going to be. So if you're at home, you have an unhealthy marriage, unhealthy relationship, fix it. Fix it. Why do you think women who are children of abusive relationships, they end up getting in abusive relationships? Because they normalize that. So as a parent, it's on us to set that example, to make sure that our children have all the tools they need. And for us, do you have kids?
No, not yet.
Any you know of her?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely not.
Do you plan on having them?
Yes.
See, your kids are going to be awesome. Because you're probably you have everything. Like last time, I'm like, what should I do on TikTok? You sent me a friggin', his kids are going to be gangsters. Like not real gangsters, but like good gangsters. Like, not like El Chapo, but no, I mean, so usually, and you're also a caring guy. Like, I don't see you as a guy like, oh, I'm watching the game, leave me alone. You're going to be like, no, let's go do jujitsu.
Yeah.
Let's go throw a ball. And that's what it's all about. Get out there and play with your kids. Set an example. Do stupid stuff so they know that why do you think I got a pro card in bodybuilding? Because I want to show my kids that I could come back after 5 years of not even training for bodybuilding and put my mind to it and do it. I did that for my kids, a little bit of my ego.
Give them good options too.
Yes.
Like people are like, I don't know how to get my kid off their phone or off their tablet. I mean, one thing is to just sometimes not give them an option. Hey, let's go, let's all go in the car. We're going on a trip, and you take them somewhere. But I was out on a run yesterday, and I saw a few parents with their kids, and the kids were like playing with the ducks by the pond. I'm like,
yes,
there's a parent that just, was probably sitting there, and they're probably like, fuck, man, I got to get my kids, got to get them outside. I got to get them doing something. And so you provide them with good options. I got a question for you. Why do you think, I guess I'll put it this way. Would you be able to do what you're doing now if you had generational wealth?
I think it's hard to say. I don't think so. I think that
there's a book out there, I forget the name of it, but it's something to the effect of like, the book is about leaving your kids with nothing, being really successful and leaving them with nothing.
I think Jackie Chan's doing that.
It's a thing. I forget what the word, I can't think of the word, but it's like and I don't think it means like to literally leave them with nothing. Mm-hmm. I think each person's interpretation of it could be different. Giving them some sort of jump start is a beautiful thing, I think.
So we have a trust for our kids. For those of you who, even if you don't have money, get with an attorney, get with a financial planner, a wealth advisor. I can recommend mine, but they're in Tennessee. I'm sure they know people you can work with. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure you set forth that trust in everything, protect your assets, put your house in it. You know, there's a lot of ways to protect your assets. That's a whole nother, I mean, you got like 12 hours, we can go. But I think that, so what really made me who I am is getting my ass kicked, is growing up in a neighborhood, making bad decisions, and having to be in life or death, fight or flight situations. Whereas if a business deal falls through, at least I'm not getting stabbed. So I think for me, it built who I am. It's hard to say if I would have had any of the survival skills. I don't mean going in the woods and, cutting down trees and killing deer. I mean the survival skills of being able to adapt to situations with human beings. So for a lot of people, what I tell people if you need a job that gives you experience in how to work with the world, become a server. Become a server. You want to know why? Because no one's ever happy. The kitchen messes up, it's on you. And you're going to deal with the night, like people like me going to a restaurant. If you mess up, I'm cool. I'm just going to be, hey, can you like, this is burnt. Can we fix it, please? Thank you. And then I'll tip the hell out of you. There are people like me and you're going to love it. Most people, if you watch how people interact with servers, you're getting shit on every day, multiple times a day. My brother was a server to put himself through college. He's very successful now. And being a server or having a retail job, being in customer service, it will teach you to deal with any situation and adapt. I learned what I learned from actual street shit. My kids don't need to do that because I already learned those lessons and I'm able to pass down what I learned from those lessons to them. But I think all of us, and if you look at immigrants, I love immigrants. I love when they come here and they start businesses and then their kids are in their businesses. The nail salon my wife goes to, family business. They're there every day and they're working as a family, but they understand, they learn the business owner, they earn the entrepreneurship skills and then they pass it down. And we lose that. We lose that whole mentality as Americans. The further we get into the generational wealth of being American, the poorest person in America has it better than we did 100 years ago. Like up to, the poorest person who has a roof over their head.
Yeah.
You have a TV. I see people with food stamps, with smartphones. We are so rich. We are so rich as a society that people do not have that survival skill. We can't even get out of our car to go to Starbucks. They have drive-thrus. Now you don't have to get into a car. You just Uber Eats it.
DoorDash it.
DoorDash. I do that when I travel. I'm not going to lie.
There we go.
But I mean, that's because I don't rent cars anymore. I'm over it.
How do you present some adversity for your children since they are growing up differently than you?
Oh, the rule in my house. There's one rule in my house. You have to play a team sport and a combat sport. Nice. Teaches you everything you need to know about life. Team sports teaches you how to work with people, collaboration, facing adversity. Combat sports, it's you versus one other person. You get knocked out or you win. Wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. Dude, getting pinned, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts. And my kids all gotten pinned before.
Mm-hmm.
They know but they've all pinned. Like last week, it was my son was, we had to move him up an age bracket because he dominated his age group. And so now we want him to fight people who could beat him. And this kid was crazy. The kid he was wrestling, he was so good. I saw him, I'm like, oh, well, here's his loss. So my son's down. He got down 2-0 in the first period. Third period starts, he's down 5-4. Okay. So this kid starts on bottom. For those who know wrestling, I'm not going to explain it all. And he's just there it is. So this is the winning match. So this kid was insane. He was absolutely insane. My son somehow got a takedown. Third period with a bruised knee. His knee swelled up, won 6-5. You cannot teach that.
Let's go.
Oh, you can't hear my voice on that. I'm going nuts. Yeah, but he almost pinned him. This kid he should have won, but my kid would not give up. And I can't teach him that because we're rich. I'm not going to beat his ass like that. This kid was taking it to him, but he's found it within him to not give up. And you can even tell, look at their bodies. You could tell that kid's older than my kid.
I like what you're saying here, because I think sometimes that we think that the money has to do with like a ton with drive. And you could be just as determined or more determined than someone that doesn't have money.
Yes.
It's just that it presents different things. And sometimes some kids that don't have money don't have the same opportunities. So sometimes they're hungry or they got a chip on their shoulder. But you can be from a wealthy family and have just the same chip on your shoulder to show people the excellence that you have and the resolve that you have.
Yeah, I think, and that's where you have what you do on this podcast, like how you talk about excellence, how you talk about excelling. You know, I've been binge watching Nsima for the last month. You've been saying some really epic, insightful stuff. Where, I mean, that is giving a service to people. And I'm telling you, it's harder coaching kids. It's harder to coach a rich kid than a non-rich kid because they're fighting for something. Whereas rich kids, if they mess up, there's always a fallback. Mommy's always got your back. Oh, mommy's always going to bail you out. Poor kids don't have that. So when I'm coaching kids at our facility, we have to present them with adversity because real life doesn't present them with adversity. So sports kind of give you an artificial adversity.
A wealthy kid could have that, but they most often don't. Yeah. Like the Mannings, for example,
yes.
Like Eli and Peyton, like, you know, their dad was a football player. I'm sure they were well off, but I'm sure their dad also said, hey, get back out there, stop being a pussy. You know, you have to go play with your teammates the way everybody else does. You gotta run to the, you know, you gotta run just like everybody else. You gotta do everything just like everybody else.
Do you have your kids work for your companies at all?
Yeah, my son works here.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So my kids all work for our facility, and my partner Chad's kids, they help build kits for our 3PL company. So, and they also on Black Friday, they're in there hustling. So I think that having a family business does help because you're able to employ them, but you can't do what most family businesses do and just have the stupid owners, the stupid kid who's the owner's kid who just screws everything up and takes advantage of everybody. So you have to actually give them accountability and give them a job and give them expectations. And if they don't meet those, you dock their pay. And those are things that you can do to better. But I think that being able to have your kids in sports, and these are, so poor people can do sports too. There's rec. Soccer has kind of got to the point where you have to have thousands of dollars to play on a club team. It's insane. Yeah. Wrestling, that tournament costs us $10 to get into. Cheap. So wrestling. Boxing's a bit more expensive because you need it, but wrestling, school wrestling, all that stuff, that was the best. That was great. That was the best. That was after that match. He's crying and I'm like, come here. Mm-hmm. So I start crying like a little bit. I'll cry like a little bitch. I don't care. I'm like, I'm done holding back emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was posted by his coach. It was just such an experience, man. And I think, I don't want my kids to have to suffer, but I also don't want them to fail in life. Like that's why, I don't want to be Hunter Biden. And that's not even, that's not a political insult, but there's a kid who had too much. There's a kid who's like, my dad's the senator, my dad's the VP. Mm-hmm. And that's what he makes his money on. The guy has zero talent because he never had to develop talent. He was always riding his dad. That sounded bad. He's always riding on his daddy's achievements.
Yeah.
Didn't want to piss off any Democrats here. Yeah. So, but then you look at the Trumps and it seems like the Trump kids have their shit together. It just does. I mean, people hate him because they're Donald's kid, but like Donald Trump Jr. and all, I've known many people who've met the guy. He's supposedly a really good dude. His daughter seems pretty normal. And I mean, then you look at Hunter, whatever Trump did to raise his kids, I think I want to know that. Like we've seen the diary and everything. Biden obviously wasn't, whether he did it on accident, wasn't the best dad, it seems. He's obviously making up for it now with the Burisma contract, and he's selling artwork for like $50,000 a painting. So he did something right. But then you look at like the Trump kids, I want to know, and this is not political at all. I seriously want to know, just looking at those two random people that came to the top of my head, what did Trump do differently as a father? Because they were both rich, at least wealthy to a level. How come Trump's kids seem to have their ish together and Biden's kids don't? I want to know how they raised him. I want to know how he created that work ethic in his kids, where they're not just riding off the fact that, hey, I'm Donald Trump's kid. Who since I can remember as a kid, he's always been the guy. Mac Miller made a song about him. Like, imagine if that was your dad. You'd get a big head, right? Like, this dude, for some reason, he did it right.
Yeah.
It seems.
I think part of the like family pride and tradition should be that y'all kick ass, you know?
Yes.
Like I kick ass, you're going to kick ass. You're going to do it in your own way, you know? And you just try to teach your kids best you can, provide them with opportunity, let them see options. I've always loved to take my son different places and allow him to see many different types of business owners, musicians, artists, whatever. I don't have no idea what's going to catch his interest. I don't know what's going to be like a particular spark. You never know. Everyone's a little different. So you have to you continue to try to present your kids with that stuff. And we've done the same thing with food in the house.
How old are your kids now?
My daughter is 15 and my son is going to be 19 at the end of this month.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's in South Africa. And so you were talking about like shit going by quick and things like that. And he's been gone for almost a whole month.
What's he doing there?
He's just kicking it with like one of his friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one of his friends that went to school here in this area that was a foreign exchange student. But, you know, I think he just wants to go out and try to experience different things and experience the world. But you don't know what the thing is going to be for your kids. You know, for us, for me and my brothers, my dad bought us a weight set and he put it in the garage, and he didn't really say a ton about it, but he knew that we were into wrestling and he knew that we were into like weights. And so he got that. And I think like a punching bag, and next thing you know, we were in there all the time, you know? And so what's that thing going to be for your kid? Is it a run? Is it a bicycle? Is it baseball? Like just try to expose them to stuff and you'll find something that they really enjoy.
Do it all. I mean, try sports. And that's why I did force my daughter to wrestle last year. She won regionals and she's, I'm done. I hate this.
That was her first year?
That was her only year.
Her only year wrestling, and then she won regionals.
Yeah. Jesus. with a pin at the end. It was a great experience. She's like, nah, my shoulder hurts. I'm not even doing this. I'm out. I'm going to just focus on soccer. Now she's back to boxing. We've been having a blast. And that's the thing. Like another thing about kids is you want to be their friend, but you don't want to be their friend. You have to have your boundaries. Like at the end of the day, they need to know that, okay, we're buddy. We're going to have a good time. But if you mess up, I'm still your dad. So there's a respect level, and you have to earn respect. I had this talk with Mike Rashid yesterday. You know, you have to earn your kids' respect. You can't just expect it unconditionally, or else they're just going to fake it. How do you earn your kids' respect? Through actions. Be a good person, do epic shit. Like I said, the reason I went back to bodybuilding is to prove a point. I wanted to earn their respect, and it was probably stupid, but I see my kids I'm like, you got to win. Winning's everything. What have you won? Well, back in my day, you know, back when I was your age, I don't want to be that dad. I hate that dad.
Do it now.
Well, when I was your age, now I'll still kick your ass.
Yeah.
Although my son, my 15 month, we were like wrestling the other day. I think he kicked my ass. Oh. And I outweigh him by 100 pounds. Like he got me, I'm like, shit, I can't get out. I'm going to play it off. I'm like, okay, funny.
Like, oh, I hurt my back.
This one was me just warming him up. Yeah.
Mark, you mentioned that you were crying at the end of your son's last clip, right?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned real quick, I'm done not sharing emotion.
Yeah.
Did you used to hold emotion back with your kids before or something?
I think so, yeah.
Why?
just because I didn't want to be seen as weak. And that was a bad mistake on my part because I'm supposed to be a strong man, right? But strong men cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with showing emotion. And it's something that now that I've become comfortable with it, it's kind of annoying because now I find myself crying. Like we have this, we train this.
Somebody replaced your testosterone with some estrogen.
Yeah, no wonder my levels, no wonder my nipples were so hard earlier. Yeah, we walked in and one of his guys here is like,
Russell.
no, you said, yeah. And you're like, your nipples are hard. I'm like, yes, they are.
Yeah, and then Russell got excited.
Yeah, everybody's nipples were hard then. Yeah. But
I see some white spots where they are right now.
yeah, there's a little bit of nipple action. But it's like I'll cry. Like I cry for winning. Like we coach Indy is a high school, and their girls lacrosse team never won a game. And we started coaching them at our facility, and they won their game. They won their first game. And I'm like, and I'm in the airport and I start crying and everybody's looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy? Like his testosterone is obviously what you said, and no, it's just, I'll cry over winning makes me cry. Like if like one of my kids loses, I'm like, okay, whatever, they'll get over it. If it's like a win, like that win, like, oh my God, my emotions just overcome me. And now I just don't hold back. I'll just cry. Like, yeah, I'm crying. What are you gonna do? It's like, and I think men should be willing to cry. Like the men's health issue is serious. Suicides and the male is just being completely shit on in this country. And we're being, it's kind of hard to explain, but the whole toxic masculinity, I think we need to be more manly. We need to take control of our lives. We need to be able to provide. We need to have that sense of accomplishment. Nothing feels better than being able to pay your bills, and to provide for your family. But we've made it so, if you do anything slightly toxic masculinity, stop mansplaining. It's frustrating because I'm raising my children to be strong, teaching my boys to be strong men. I'm teaching my daughter to be a strong female. And there's no sexism. Everybody's fighting in my house. Daughters fighting, kids are fighting. Everybody has the same rules, but there's roles they play in society. My daughter, she's starting a business. Obviously, I don't believe women can't start businesses, right? But in the grand scheme of things, she gets married and wants to stay home with the kids. That's great. I know there's a lot of stay-at-home husbands. That's great. I think that's really cool. And if you decide to do that, that's great. But on the same hand, I want my kids to be able to, if they, in a normal household, unless the wife's making tons of cash, someone needs to stay home, you got to be the one. Like you can both work. That's fine. My wife works. But
has she always worked?
She took about 5 years off to raise the kids. Yep, that was her choice. I didn't want her to because she was making more money than me. So, I mean, it was so much pressure. It was when I started Scivation in 2004. And 2005, it was 2006. She's like, well, I'm gonna just stay home and raise Cammie. That was when Cammie was born. I'm like, shit, what if this doesn't work? What if the business fails? So that right there, that was like a Captain America's trenbolone injection right into my arm. I'm like, I really have to make this work or else we can't feed our kid. So that fight or flight is so real.
Was the plan for her to go back in 5 years, or was it like I'm done with work and then eventually she just wanted to go back?
Once the kids are in school, honestly, there's really nothing to do till they're out of school. I mean, so and with us owning businesses, like I can give her 20 projects tomorrow and she's honestly just so good at what she does. Like by the age of 22, she was a VP of marketing for a decently large she was crushing it. Like she's so good. So for me not to utilize her as an employee, just taking a part of I'd hire her for a damn good salary if she wasn't my wife. She's just really good at it. Way more talented than I am at what she's talented at. She organizes. Without her, I'm stupid. Like I'm just a bull in a china shop. I'll have ideas, but she actually takes them and makes them actually work. And she keeps me in check. If you could probably imagine someone with my brain, it'll drive you stir crazy. Like living with me isn't easy. She's a saint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along these lines of like you mentioned, you're not holding back your emotions anymore. There's a lot of sex, and when I say sex, I mean SECTS, of these emotional sides of men. There are sides of YouTube when they talk about masculinity where they tell men to be very careful about oversharing their emotions, crying in front of women, etc. There's the other side where women are generally saying, oh, I want men to share their emotions more, and they're so emotionally stunted, and it's because of how we raise young boys. And that's wrong too, because men and women, young boys and young girls, are very different in the ways that they express their emotions. But there is a side where maybe young boys aren't given outlets on where they can express their potential emotions in a healthy way. And they tend maybe just to hold those things in because maybe dad doesn't talk about those things. And maybe that's taboo for him to share those things. So he grows up repressing that potentially. And then when you become an adult, you don't know how to do it. So either it's you kill yourself because you've been holding things in for too long, or you become violent because you don't know any other way than through violence. So you have young boys. You've become more comfortable with sharing your own emotions. How are you teaching your young boys how to handle all of their things as far as their emotions are concerned?
Honestly, it's just for my children, Thomas is extremely emotional. If he loses a wrestling match, he cries. If he wins a wrestling match, he cries. It's either tears of joy, or tears of sadness. And I'm okay with that. The only time I had issue is when he kind of was a little upset after he had a really hard match. He lost by points. And I'm like, just make sure you get off the mat. Just make sure you have sportsmanlike conduct. You know, he didn't like throw a fit, but you could tell like he was about to lose it. I'm like, just, you're varsity now, bro. Like you're a freshman on varsity. Just hold it in. Just hold it in until you get off that mat. Then go in the corner, put your hoodie on, cry all you want.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just like, just express yourself. Don't be afraid. You could tell me anything. You could show your emotions. There's nothing wrong about that. Obviously, there's a time and place, you know? You don't want to be in a job interview and just start crying. So you have to have situational awareness. But if you want to cry it out with me, if you start crying, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I've never cried. The hardest I've ever cried is during winning. Like that's the hardest. Like my daughter's team won state in soccer. I cried.
Yeah.
Like a little bitch in front of everybody. Didn't care. Like fight me, you know, catch me outside. I think that you need to have a healthy display of emotions. And that's where I think my daughter, that's where I think I did her the most wrong as a father, is that before I found my emotional capabilities, I didn't cry in front of her. I didn't show emotion. So she has trouble displaying emotion. But she's getting better. She's growing with me. So she's getting better. She'll break down, and I'm good with that.
I have a question real quick on that note, because when some people hear that, they're like, well, that's what the woman's for. Like the woman is there to teach the child how to handle that type of thing. So I wonder, do you think she took a lot of that from seeing you, that lack that you believe she, you know, she's working on?
Well, yeah. And my wife's not the most emotional person either. So my wife has way less emotional display than I do.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. For an Italian, it's really weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's just like, she's not really a crier. She's not, doesn't get overly hyped. Like me, I'm extreme. I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely sad. There's no middle ground. I'm usually happy 99% of the time. I think that the thing is, like, men have feminine traits.
Yeah.
Women have masculine traits. It's just the proportion of each of those. And, you know, my daughter, in our dynamic of our family, my daughter is me. Like, we train every day together. We hang out together. Like, she became an extension of me. She became kind of as, like, we just have, like, my son's probably closer to my wife. My daughter, probably closer to me. It can vary based on the week and who's doing what. But so my daughter naturally took to most of my traits, which is good or bad. She's obviously her own version of me.
Yeah.
But so when I showed lack of emotion, she did too. And I think she's always been so goal-oriented and driven, my fault too, because she was the one who was around when we started these companies. 2006, we were 2 years into Scivation. So she saw everything. She was the one who got screwed the most on me being gone. Because that was when we really, really, really had to grind, like 300 days a year on the road.
Have you ever talked to her about it?
Oh, all the time. We talk very openly. I talk more than her.
That's probably helpful.
Yeah.
Does she agree? Does she think she got screwed?
I don't think she does. I think she realizes she's very insightful. She's way smarter than all of us. Like she's like probably not going to play soccer in college. This is a girl who's phenomenal. Spent 10 years of her life, 6 hours a day training for it. But then she did the math and she's like, it's just not worth it. In Tennessee, community college is free and state school's under 10 grand a year. Scholarships aren't full. And unless you go in state, it's going to cost more than just going in state paying normal tuition. Average female soccer player professionally makes about 20 grand a year. She's like, why don't I just focus on my business, train people, make $100K a year. And my wife's like, are you sure? I'm like, why are you questioning this? Like she could pay my bills. I'm like, this is and for me, it was, up until I left Monday, I was like, are you sure you don't want to just try? He's like, Dad, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, okay. Cause you see someone who has all this talent, but it's a dead end talent. So, and she scratched the itch. So she's like, I just want to train. I want to get in great shape. The problem is she loves lifting more than she loves soccer because she's really good at it. This is a girl who could pull,
I've seen video of her deadlift.
Very strong.
She has all the state records in Tennessee and she's going to do another meet in April. So she loves powerlifting.
Pat Project family, how's it going? Now we talk about meat a lot on this podcast, which is why we've partnered with Piedmontese and have for years now, because they have some of the best beef on the planet. All right, Piedmontese beef has cuts that are fattier in terms of their ribeyes, and they have also cuts that are leaner in terms of their flat irons, but you can get cuts for no matter what diet you're on. Andrew, how can they get their hands on it?
Yeah, head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. And at checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your entire order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
You know what, though? You mentioned it's a dead end talent. And I think that's interesting. I think sometimes, and I know you didn't mean it to word it this way, but because you recognize you're the one that kind of pushed your kids or encouraged your kids to go do these things for the purpose of the journey. But she's smart enough to recognize what the journey has done for her as well. Yes. And I think some people think, my kid, he doesn't really like baseball that much. He doesn't like soccer that much. Probably not going to be pro anyway. He's probably going to be short because I'm short. Or you know what? I think people get in this negative mindset, and it's like, wait a second, the kid's not necessarily playing the sport. Okay, the kid might have hopes and dreams of being an NBA player, and if all that works out, that would be amazing. But let's not forget what the value of sport and the value of working things out and playing on a team. That's really what you're doing it for. And so I have learned more recently that a talent or a skill set is everything towards stress mitigation, towards happiness. Because I or anyone in this podcast, we can go and make ourselves happy. Like we have ideas in our head of like, this is going to go make me happy. And it's not us snorting cocaine. It's not us drinking. It's usually going to be.
Still haven't done coke though.
I need to
We should try some cocaine.
Can we get some cocaine?
Andrew?
It'd be a really good podcast. How much time do we have? Jesus, I'm kidding, Nsima. What the fuck?
No,
Nsima looks at me like, wait a second.
I think that we should.
I don't leave till tomorrow. Let's get high.
I think that we should do cocaine.
Let me send some
This is
text
a great
messages.
idea.
See how it
Viral
compares
as
to
hell.
working out.
Was I talking about working out?
You're talking about like it's better than coke.
Yeah. Well, working out's not better than cocaine.
It's a lot
probably.
easier than a cold
I'm
plunge.
so
all right?
sorry. You were on a roll too, and I just, God damn it.
No, that was good. But I mean, in all seriousness, we have things that we can go to, right? We have things that are stress mitigators. I'm sure when you've had business problems or issues with anything in your life, you probably have gone into the gym and literally punched a bag or punched some gloves or sparred with somebody.
Every time. I mean, if I didn't train, I overtrain. And it's not because it's giving me results. I overtrain because I need it. It mitigates so many things. It is everything. If it wasn't for...
It could be so much bigger, bro.
I know, dude. I know. Well, I wouldn't mind getting down in the 190s, to be honest with you. I'm too, like, when I get over 220, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Everything's just less. Like, I don't need all them gains. I'm cool with it, right? But I think that what activity does, and also we know the brain benefits now, right? Being a meathead is actually, I just wrote an article for Muscular Development. about this. It came out 2 months ago. Being a meathead's a compliment because now we know that exercise literally opens up your brain. It creates new neurons. So the dumb people are the people who don't lift, which is awesome because it makes us look really good, right?
The meatheads are cheering right now.
Yeah, I mean, we know that
The meatheads, in the defense of regular people, the meatheads are coming from pretty far back. Got a lot of lifting to do to like make up some ground.
So what I've noticed though, as I've moved up the ranks and I'm meeting with all these.
I wish you guys could have seen me this morning trying to figure out how to adjust this fanny pack thing that I have for running. I couldn't figure it out. I had to run without it.
It had a buckle.
Don't forget your train of thought. Did you buy, because I just literally bought also a little fanny pack so I didn't have to keep my phone in my pocket when running. Did you buy one of those little ones?
And it's like preset for like someone who's like 150 pounds.
Oh my
So I'm trying to like figure it out. I'm like, how do I make this strap longer? And I said it to myself 10 times and I kept pulling on these different straps and I'm like, I made it shorter. And then I got it back to like where it was. And I'm like, that was longer again, but it's still not long enough to go around my waist.
Fuck it,
I'm like, all I have to do is repeat what I just did. And I'm looking at it, I'm lining it up like on my trunk in my car. And I'm like, okay, it just needs to go a little longer than that, and I'll be able to snap it, no problem. And I made it shorter again. And I'm like, fuck this.
Oh, goodness.
I don't understand how to use those.
project.
So us meatheads, we got a lot of work to do.
They need to have instructions.
But imagine how dumb we'd be if we didn't lift.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be dumb and
deficit.
useless.
so fucking stupid.
But the thing is, so what I've realized as I've been rubbing elbows with really, really rich, successful people. And the proportion of people who are in shape is way better than the national population. Like there's one guy, I'm not going to, but one of our backings, one of our financial backers, he runs the whole thing. Dude's worth, I'm talking like money. Like he could buy us all, like our families too. And we'd be like, cool. I mean, in great shape. We did a whole like, a great, whatever it was, like a presentation thing. And everybody in that building was worth, again, I don't know. I'm guessing, but all of our net worths combined, multiplied by a number we don't even know. And they were in shape. Disproportionately, I'm talking 9 out of 10 people were not, some were kind of jacked, but in shape. What I've noticed is that
that makes you kind of mad when they're kind of jacked. You're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But these guys, these CEOs, these big investors, it's not the fat cats of old time. These guys are waking up in the morning. They're going, a couple of them did CrossFit. Some of them just went to the gym. They were all active. Some of them ran. I mean, what I've noticed is that as the world's getting more competitive, it's kind of like separating the smart and the really smart or the really successful is a lot of times fitness. Look at Bezos, man. Dude got jacked, got on some trend. Like you imagine the drugs that guy can afford, man.
Zuckerberg's out here doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
Man, it's I think that we realize like they can read studies too. And they also know they probably got to work out and they're like, dude, I like had a good day. This is awesome. Like my body's sore, but my brain is just crushing it. Again, like if it wasn't for fitness, I wouldn't be able to make it in life. I wouldn't be a shadow of who I am. Fitness is everything. We've been preaching this since I met you guys. I mean, for years, for decades. And people are like, no, it just makes you stupid. It's like, all right, then explain the data. Like the data's all over the place. And you had him on this show. A great episode, by the way, with Huberman. Like he's not a jacked guy. He's an in shape guy, but he's like reinforcing through actual science all the things that we kind of knew back in the day. Like we kind of knew it was good to see light in the morning. Like, right? Like
I would say that he's kind of jacked.
He is. I was about to say, like,
I haven't seen him in person. So
when you see him in person, you'll the frame, and he always has the long black thing on, but like, yeah, he's pretty jacked under there.
And now he's looking more jacked, and like his neck is like
thick neck.
Ever since he did that TRT podcast, put on that Bezos size. Yeah, I love the fact that now the science guys, the people who are influencing, it seems like, I mean, David Sinclair with what he does for fasting and all that stuff. You look at these guys, and I agree and disagree. I don't disagree with anybody. I just like listening to it. I might not do it. I might not partake it, but like a lot of people are like plus or minus. Like I love Laying to Death. I was the one who brought him in you know that story. He was my first employee at Salvation.
Yeah.
And Lane tends to take this guy's a fucking idiot approach, and he's right a lot of the times. I agree, but I don't. I like bad information too. And here's why. In that bad information, there could be 99% bad, but you might find one thing. Like I was listening to, I think it was Sinclair, and he was talking about how he fasts all day, but when he takes his vitamins in the morning, he has a little bit of yogurt with it to help him take down the vitamins, a little bit of fat for this fat soluble vitamins. I'm like, it's a fucking great idea. Because sometimes I like to fast. Fasting's great. Even just for a mental challenge, it's great. Like you can't say fasting's all bad. I think for a lot of people, I don't think it's scientists proven it's not really necessary, but it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's not gonna but I mean, you know, a lot of times you can listen to someone who you might not agree with. And like, I'm not a big carnivore guy, but I think what Baker's done to unvilify red meat, like, I love it. I love it. And I'll take a little, the carnivore people are going to be mad at this. It's like, but then I look at what he's done. Then even the vegans, okay, I can't really think. No, I'm just playing. The vegans have actually given us some data and some take homes that might be good. I can't think of any right now, but I'm sure it's there.
Well, there was a study that your body can, and I'm going to fuck this up, but there was a study basically saying that when you eat plants, your body will start to make the proper amino acids. Like I just said, I totally butchered that, but there was something to that effect. So you're learning from everybody.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times you have this infighting when we all have a lot of people everybody's trying to sell something. We have bills to pay, right? You're selling information, which is viable. It's helping people, right? Yeah. But a lot of times we all want the best. Like we all, especially those who do practice what we preach. Like there's not something I'm going to say that I haven't at least tried or I do. So if I say, hey, here's what I eat for my pre-workout meal, it's generally what I eat. And you could try it. You know, like you always say that, hey, try it. It might, like you did the deadlift grip thing yesterday with the running. Yeah. You're like, try it. It might suck. It might work. There you go. Like my answer, what works for me. And that's why when people go like, well, what do you eat? It's like, it's probably not going to work for you. I have a super fast metabolism and I have not elite, but I have really, really good muscle building genetics, and I can get by with either a lot of calories or a little calories. It's not what you do. So what you need to do is try different things and see what works best for you. I digest things differently. I like different foods, different activity levels. So I think individualizing things, and that's the main part about fitness, is not following a program. It's following a bunch of programs, taking what works from them. Like when you and Chris went on and Joe Rogan, and you said, hey, I get the carnivore. I do better with fruit. People are like, well, is that really carnivore? Who cares? Does it work? Like you don't have to be 100% in on the camp. You don't have to fly that flag. You don't have to be tribal about it. If you do better eating an apple before your workout and you eat meat the rest of the day, well, do it. Like, why wouldn't you do it? Because you're not 100% carnivore. You're not on the team anymore. Come on.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I definitely understand why Lane gets mad. Like, for example, my sister sent me a text yesterday. Actually, you know what? Let me just pull this up real quick. She literally texted me asking about this thing called the Superfit, an ultrasonic fat and cellulite burner.
Okay, I get mad too.
So I can understand, because there are some people who are putting out just like, there is so much just maybe stupidity in what's being said. Yeah. Right. And it like, for people like you and probably a lot of people who pay attention to your content or this content, they won't get fooled by it. But someone like my sister, it's like, I can see it, right?
Well, there are good advancements in a lot of things. Like there's good advancements with medicine. There's these semaglutide and some of these things that are helping people with their hunger issues and things like that. So it sucks because then something like that comes across and it's like, well, how do I disseminate like what works and what doesn't work?
It's really hard because there's a lot of really evil scammers out there.
Yeah.
And so what sucks is, as someone whose life mission, everything I've done from 2003 on has been to create nutritional supplements to help people. Like, for example, we came out with Ambrosia Vita this isn't a plug, I'm just giving an example, because it was everything that had been shown to, keep viral defense, basically prevent viral replication. Because when we came out with it, there was this virus going around. You might have heard about it, but I'm not going to say it. And so we came out with it to make sure to just give people that prophylactic defense. And so it works. Science shows that these do help inhibit virus replicating, virus replication. So the problem is there's so many scam artists that if you come out and say, hey, here's science, here's references, oh, you're scamming me. And it's just like, it's just frustrating.
The thing is too, and this is the rough thing because studies are good, don't get me wrong, but people can find certain studies to fit whatever narrative that they're trying to show to people, right? So I think it's important to understand that, and that's why like what we try to do is we try to give people a bunch of options. There are certain things that we do, that we utilize some fasting here, we do certain types of diets here and there, and we talk about how it's been beneficial for us and other people, but that doesn't mean it's the thing that everybody needs to do. Just like you mentioned, you try it out and you see if it fits into your lifestyle and your habits, and if it makes your life easier, cool, it works for you, but doesn't mean it will work for somebody else or everybody else.
One reason I like coming here is every time I leave, I have something that I change in my life. There hasn't been one trip to this podcast where it hasn't been like, for example, like barefoot stuff. Like after this time, like, this is kind of cool standing here. You know, I use a stand-up desk. That makes sense. I always have socks on. What if I got one of these rock carpets? You know, things like that are things you learn from other people, but you have to actually experience it and try it. And I think that a lot of people just don't open their eyes because they get involved in the camps, the tribalism. You see the same thing with everything from politics to whatever. It's like, oh, I'm on team blue. I'm on team red. I'm MAGA. I'm this, I'm that. I'm a never Trump. It's like, wait a second. Hold on. But we do that with diets. We do that with everything. And that's human nature because people want to belong. People want to belong to a group. So you can't, honestly, the days of having critical thinking and an open mind, it just seems like it's always been this way, but with social media, it's even more proliferating because you're able to tell people about it, right? It's like, remember when CrossFit first started?
Yeah, I do. Infinite Edge Intensity, you remember him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you had to, when you did CrossFit, everybody knew you did CrossFit, right? It was the most annoying thing ever, but it was like a gang. It was like, bodybuilders are stupid. I'm a CrossFitter. And that's cool. I like CrossFit. I'm a huge fan of CrossFit. I'm a CrossFit certified instructor. I'm a level 1. Yeah. I just renewed it 3 months ago. I did the whole course and everything.
CrossFit territory out there in Tennessee, right?
We have a lot of CrossFitters. And look, man, I love CrossFit, but they became so vile and tribal. And it's like, and that just that actually helped it grow, but also inhibited it because they were like, they'd shit on people all the time. Like you go to the gym and bodybuilding doesn't work. I'm like, I'm bigger than you. And
unfortunately, those people were just, I think one of the problems was it's great that those people were excited, but they were just learning fitness.
Yes.
That was the issue. It's not like they have been veterans of fitness. They've been around for a really long time. A lot of them started it and they learned fitness quickly. Like they learned fitness quickly through CrossFit, but that was kind of the only thing that they learned. And they learned kind of tribalism, as you're saying, like if you're not doing rope climbs and you're not standing on your head and doing some of these other exercises, then you're nothing to us, you know? And that was kind of the thought process, I think.
It's unfortunate. I think Chris Gethin puts it best. Mileage without knowledge is bullshit. I love that. I love that saying that he has. But I think that in fitness, we should embrace everybody who's trying to better themselves. Yeah. That's the problem. I don't care what you do. Are you, as you say, are you being less fat? Or as I say, unfat yourself. You know, at the end of the day, if you are exercising and trying to make a better version of you, do what you enjoy. What's the best exercise program? One you'll do. Like do something. And for most people, it's as simple as going on a 30-minute walk a day. That would pretty much cure obesity. If people just walked every day, it would pretty much cure morbid obesity. I don't think you can't get super duper 600-pound life fat if you're walking. Like that literally takes work to get that damn fat.
Yeah, if you stay attached to walking and you just never stop.
Yeah.
I would agree with that statement because I think that you would probably autocorrect at some point and be like, man, I like those walks. I can't really breathe in those walks the way that I would like to. So I'm going to cut back on my food.
Yes. So I think that we need to embrace all forms of fitness and we need to help people with it. And that's why I try to learn as many methodologies as possible so I can help as many people as possible, from kettlebells to whatever it is. I want to learn it. I might not be able to be proficient at it, but I want to be able to at least understand it. And as long as you're moving, you're in a really good place. Move, get up, get off the couch, move, It will help you in so many ways. And healthy eating, if you exercise, you're more likely to pay attention to your diet. It goes hand in hand. They're very synergistic. So it's not one or the other. I hated the whole, well, diet's 80% of it. I'm like, based on what? Everything's 100%. It's the total. It's what it equals. It's not just one or the other. It's all of it. Diet, training, lifestyle, sleep. It all fits together. It all fits together. If you start really paying attention to sleep, actually, this is something you told me last time I was on here. If you feel like if you wake up, you'll force yourself back to sleep because you have businesses to run. You have to be at this level. You're not going to do that if you're getting 4 hours of sleep. Sleep is a huge component. It's everything. But sleep, okay, but if I sleep, does that mean I can eat like shit? No. But guess what? If you sleep well, you're less likely to mess up your diet. Actually, you did a TikTok about that. See, I stalk you guys. So I mean, these are all things that, again, like similar information, but we all see what we're seeing. But the thing is, you have to just do what's right for you. You don't have to be niched in. If you don't like bodybuilding, don't bodybuild. There's so many other options, so many ways. Do some kind of a HIIT class. Do whatever. Just make sure you do something.
Do you think obesity is complicated?
No, I don't. I think obesity is pretty simple. People are eating too much and doing too little. Now, there's a difference between preventing obesity and making people optimal and jacked. But I mean, I think it's a pretty easy. Now, there's a difference between fat, overweight, and obese. Obese is obese. And that's the epidemic we're in right now. And most people you see are walking around obese. We are a fat country, and the great fattening of 2020, where everybody stayed home. So the government shut down gyms, yet they delivered liquor and food to people's houses. It's almost like they wanted us to, I'm not by any means doing that conspiracy theory thing, but if I was an alien and I dropped down here, I'm like, you did what? Y'all just wanted people to get fat. And I think that obesity is a simple thing that is very hard to actually implement how to fix it. And the reason is people are lazy and people like processed foods because it triggers this whole array of emotions and everything from the olfactory, the smell of the food, to the taste, to the remembering that mac and cheese your mom made when you were a kid, or maybe you had a situation you weren't feeling so well, your girlfriend broke up with you and nothing made you feel better than going to Boston Market and getting their mac and cheese. So there's all these emotional attachments. So the answer to obesity is pretty friggin' simple. The implementation of curing obesity is extremely hard because we're up against big food and we're up against big pharma. If you're dead, you don't make them money. If you're healthy, you don't make them money. They want you just sick enough to need their pills and their potions and all that stuff. They want you sick. They do not want us. It is financially negative for them. It is a financial detriment. People like us are financial detriments, except for the testosterone manufacturers. They're making a ton of cash on us. No, except for Nsima. He still pretends he's Natty.
I hate you so much. I'm trying to find this clip from 60 Minutes where I don't know if you guys saw, but this lady was saying that obesity is genetic. I'm trying to find this clip.
And now she's on the government's board of dietetics.
I would like to. I'd like to add like the common thread among once somebody gets to be obese, I think that starts to get complex because of many life experiences. Like when you're young, you may have been the fat kid and so on. And like, there just might be a lot of baggage with that. There might be a lot of mental capacity that it might be easy for some of us to say, you got to eat better and but they are literally like paralyzed by some of their own thoughts. And I can be open and honest and say that I've been paralyzed by my own thoughts before, felt disempowered, from my own thoughts or didn't believe in myself enough to do something. So I can understand once you get into that situation, how it can be kind of complex, even though they know and we know that some changes in the food that you eat and some changes to your daily habits, you moving more, would be a great idea, but maybe they're just stuck in this loop that's very hard to get out of. I'll finish before we play this clip. The one thing that ties every obese person together is the same thing that ties everyone together that gains body fat in the first place. And it's what I've been talking about for years, and I say it time and time and time and time again, but it doesn't seem to stick. It's your food choices.
Yes.
It's your food choices. It's your food choices. If you only had access to fish and meat and vegetables, that would help auto-regulate your satiety signals, your hunger signals, your cravings. It would help with everything. I realize that this is a made-up world that I just made up where you only got like meat, vegetables, and eggs, and you put them on repeat.
Yes.
You would lose a lot of weight because protein is going to be the thing that helps keep those hunger signals down. And over time, you will start to eat less and less energy. Energy, again, comes from fat and carbohydrates, not so much from protein.
You couldn't be more correct, and I couldn't agree with you more. It's when I first started modeling when I was 21, I was getting ready for a photo shoot for Men's Fitness, and it was pretty simple. I just ate chicken and veggies, and I got shredded. So when I travel, and I'm not trying to bulk, so I'm not worried about I need white rice. White rice, if you think about it, is kind of stupid. There's no micronutrients. It's just glucose.
Yep. Just some carbs.
So like yesterday, I'm at the airport. I actually filmed it. I'm going to do it was just a place I always go to at Terminal 5 LAX called, I think it's Donbury. And you get the teriyaki bowl. You just get the steamed veggies and double chicken. It's expensive as hell, but think about it. I'm getting all protein and veggies.
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight, eat whatever meat you want. Of course, don't cook it with breading and stuff, but eat ribeye, eat steak, eat pork. Of course, except for the Jews and Muslims, they can't have that. So eat anything, any of those proteins. So hell, even get a whey protein powder or your shake or your steak shake. Perfect. And eat veggies.
And you'll feel full. Like,
and you will
overeat that shit if you want.
Dude, eat all so I eat probably a pound of carrots a day. Woo! I love carrots. They satiate me. My poop comes out phenomenal. It's a great fiber source, great source of vitamin A. I eat the hell out of carrots because I digest them easy. Learned that again from Stan Efferding, from his vertical diet.
Yeah.
A diet that at first I'm like, why would you eat rice? And now I'm like, oh, his diet's actually one of the best diets on the market if you're looking for a packaged diet. It's fantastic. The vertical diet is, I was like, this diet stew. I did videos on it. And then I'm like, I retract everything I said. My bad.
Let's go.
Dude, but here's the thing. Like, I will call stuff out. And if I'm wrong, Lane just did a post about Lane Norton. He did a post about this. Lane was like, I've been wrong about boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, well, shit, yeah. We shouldn't believe the same thing we believed 20 years ago. It evolves. Like, it worked, but can we do better? Can we do better? So I've learned a lot. So I've implemented, like I said, I'm not doing the vertical diet, but I have a component of carrots. I learned about carrots from the vertical diet.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things where if you simply take out, and carbs are fine. I love carbs. If you simply take out the simple carbs and you eat meat and veggies, you're going to get results and they're going to be really good. You don't have to measure anything. Obviously it's not going to be optimal. You're not going to get in great but dude, you're going to be better than 99% of people. But again, the media and big pharma, who pays 70% of the media's bills, 70% of their income is from big pharma. They want you sick and they want you weak.
One of the reasons why Stan recommends rice is just the ability to digest it. So because it doesn't have much in it, most people can digest it. People have allergens and trouble digesting corn and beans and a bunch of other flour and things like that. But white rice, most people are like, yeah, I can eat that. One of the issues is that it can encourage you to eat like more than you probably should in a given meal. So if you're somebody that is trying to regulate your body weight, then you just might need to be cautious on how much rice you eat.
I think that diet started out for athletes. So athletes normally have trouble getting in enough food. So again, I ate shit on that one because I was wrong, 100% wrong. And I personally apologize. Don't think to him, but his guy. I'm like, bro, I reached out. I'm like, my bad. Did a public apology because I jumped the gun. And I do that a lot. Yeah. But I'm always willing to be like, oh, my bad. So again, there's certain things I've been wrong about. And that was one.
When do you guys think it's appropriate for like the meal, that example that you gave in the airport, just veggies and double protein?
Yep.
I'm assuming that was cooked in some sort of sauces and oils or anything like that?
You get it with no sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna. I have it ready to share as a reel today, but I'm like, I'm gonna start documenting what I eat because people have trouble figuring out what to eat. Like,
Yeah.
I'm obviously not gonna bring more business to Terminal 5 LAX, but it shows you that if you go to Flame Broiler, you could do the same thing. If you go to Chipotle, if you can't follow your diet at Chipotle, you need to fall off the face of this earth. They got grilled onions and peppers. They got chicken and steak, and then you get the salad bowl. Mm-hmm. You could eat all the salad bowls from Chipotle you want and get shredded. It's literally meat and very little sauce or no. I mean, it's just grilled in whatever they grill it in. And there you go. And throw some pico and corn on there and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you get corny poop.
That's always fun to see. It's a nice little dressing that you
confetti.
can look at. Yeah.
A little dressing on
Throw a
top.
little bit of pumpkin seeds in there.
Oh God, that's
Let's
disgusting.
see what we got.
Well, we
here.
started there. We might as well go back.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready for this?
Ready.
I like her lipstick. Matches her
If
dress.
you diet, you lose weight, right?
The number one cause of obesity is genetics. That means if you are born to parents that have obesity, you have a 50 to 85% likelihood of having the disease yourself, even with optimal diet, exercise, sleep management, stress management. So when people see families that have obesity, the assumption is, what are they feeding those kids?
Real quick.
She had me for a second there.
She said optimal diet and exercise. Because if we think about her statement, if we really just listen to what she said, she is right in a way, right? Not optimal diet and exercise, but these parents who are obese, they have bad habits. They probably have the wrong food in the environment. They've probably tried to help their kid lose weight, but they don't have the habits themselves.
Yeah, I would say that this would be similar to like religion. We found that 50 to 80% of Catholics came from Catholic backgrounds.
There we go.
Because it's a meme that's passed on. It's a propagation of a thought process, not so much these people, they're not making the big changes. They are developing similar habits to mom and dad is what I think.
If you want to do a field trip, let's go to Walmart. Let's go to Walmart.
That's where I saw you a few years ago.
Yeah,
first time. Met
great.
you in a Walmart.
Hey, how are you doing, man? Yeah, I love Walmart, by the way. You know how much? So inflation hasn't affected me. I shop at Walmart. It's still cheap as hell. Like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we grocery shop at Walmart, Aldi, and Costco. That's our big three. But anyway, so here's the thing. Go to Walmart, look in the carts. The reason fat people are having fat kids is because they're eating like their fat parents and instilling those habits. And as you get fat, your body develops new fat cells. So you have these fat kids, they're developing, they're basically, the fat is just dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing. So they have more fat cells, they're able to get fatter. And then they grow up and they have the same habits and they have insulin resistance and they just have no exercise habits and they're fat. So it's nature versus nurture. They're genetically fat because they're genetically eating what their fat genetic parents are feeding them.
But
There's another genetic component to it where it's believed that you can affect 5 to 7 generations downward from you. So in terms of like where my genes were at when I had my kids, they might have a propensity to be obese a little bit more than someone else, even though my wife wasn't heavy, but I was kind of heavy at the time. There's some genes in my family where people are, again, these aren't people that are like eating properly either. So, it's probably a small factor that there's a genetic component in there, but it probably is a factor. So I think it's a combination of multiple things going on, but I couldn't agree more that it starts and it ends with the habits. If you have good habits on the food choices that you have and you have good habits with your movement, you will not be fat.
You were fat. I was fat. We're not fat anymore. How do we do that? We change lifestyle. Right. And there's ways to mitigate insulin resistance and all these different things through diet. Like we were talking before about even things that you did for lactose intolerance and IBS. Food can be medicine. And it can be a cure. And exercise, you talk about insulin resistance. Here's a good way to get rid of that. Exercise. Look at what Efforting does with the 10-minute walks, right? Look at all these different things, and that's not a scientific advancement. And that used to be like, people think about it. If you work construction, you eat lunch, you go back to building shit. Like they're fine, their insulin resistance is fine. So you look at what we're putting these children through, and we look at the fact that right now, you literally took away sports in 2020 for the greater good, right? I say that like this.
Yeah.
You know, you took away sports and a lot of these kids never came back. And also remember, like you look at the holiday weight gain studies, people gain weight during the holidays and they don't lose it, but they don't gain much. It's only like 4 to 6 pounds. It wasn't anything crazy, but they do it every year. So after 10 years, that's 40 pounds. Yeah. So you look at the accumulation effect of what they're doing. So it's a bad head start. Like we talked about generational wealth earlier. If you start with $1 million, like it's really easier to make more millions of dollars if you do it correctly, right? If you start with $0, you have to get to that million first.
Yeah.
So if you get your kids with a horrible start versus someone with a head start and being healthy and having the habits, they're more likely to be overweight. Now, the difference genetically isn't that you can't lose weight with optimal diet, training, and sleep. It just means that it might be a little bit harder. As someone who coaches a ton of people, you know, I have online coaching. You know, I have some people who I can literally, you know, cut whipped cream out of their diet and they'll lose 20 pounds. I have other people who are literally on 800 calories and you're like, then you have to utilize diet breaks and refeeds and all these different things just because that's how their body is.
Yeah.
And people have different metabolic adaptations, different metabolisms, different genetics, different thyroids, different everything. So everybody's individual. But the one thing we know is that if you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're not going to be on my 600-pound life.
You know, when I heard that clip and I saw that clip, it kind of made me think about, you know, my mom, when she was raising me, she always let me know what the statistics of fatherless children were.
Really?
Because my dad wasn't there. So she always let me know what those statistics were, but she always let me know that also, you're not a statistic. There are ways that you can not end up in this position, ways that you can work, places where we can put you as far as education. Like, you don't have to end up this way. It's all about the choices you decide to make. Now, the problem that I see here is that there are statistics when it comes to obesity in children, especially having obese parents and having a higher propensity of being obese. But the problem is that this takes away the power from those people who are obese. It gives them a scapegoat. Because one of my reasons my mom did that to me is because she didn't want me to ever say the reason why I am the way I am is because I didn't have a father. And when you look at this, it will allow some individuals to say the reason why I am the way I am is because these are my genes. It's an easy scapegoat for potentially the lack of education, the lack of dealing with your environment, the lack of work on your end to stop the fat gain. And it's harsh, but it's true.
Yeah, I think we all have our own adversity to overcome.
Yeah.
And one adversity is having too much stuff. Like we talk rich kid syndrome, right? So we all have adversity. It's just a matter of what you're dealing with, what your adversity is to overcome. And it might be a slower metabolism, but it still can be overcome.
Yes.
It might be a propensity to be addicted to drugs or alcohol or whatever. And that's something that you need to overcome. So it might be harder than it is. Like it's going to be harder for me to shoot a basketball than LeBron. You know, it's going to be harder for, you know, a normal guy off the street to build muscle. Like probably all three of us have, I'd say we all have pretty good muscle building genetics, right? We're not Phil Heath, but we're okay. So we're always going to have, you know, something to overcome. And the thing is, be the best you that you can be. And we're not asking people, or I'm not, when I say don't be fat, it doesn't mean be jacked. It doesn't mean be 3% body fat or even 10. Don't be 50, you know, be healthy. And I can't imagine how bad these people feel when they wake up in the morning. Like their normal is my worst day ever. I want to die. You know, their normal, the inflammation, the pain, systemic. Have you seen what obesity does to your body, the inflammatory markers, everything's harder. Nothing works right. Erectile dysfunction. Those are all things that stem from obesity. And it's the comorbidity for everything from heart disease to even cancer is more likely if you're fat. So when I tell people to not be fat, it's not because I'm not in the fat acceptance. No, it's because I don't want people to die.
Yeah.
I don't want you to live an uncomfortable life. You see that Glamour magazine with the fat chick, like, this is healthy. No, it's not. Stop this. We need to stop glorifying gluttony. We need to stop glorifying bad behavior. We need to stop glorifying death. And that's what obesity is. It's death. It is a certain painful, long drawn out death. You're going to die.
I think if you were to go into some of these households and communicate with the families, you would find that the children don't have any idea where to get food.
Yeah.
Like if you said, hey, where do you get your food from? They would say the pantry.
Yeah.
You say, okay, well, what if the food wasn't there? And like, I don't know, maybe the fridge. And a lot of times a kid will look in the fridge and there could be yogurt in there. There could be fruit. There could be a lot of stuff. But a kid that's not used to eating healthy is going to say, we don't have anything. Because they're looking for milk. They're looking for cereal. They're looking for all the stuff that they may be used to from having bad habits from the pantry, just being overstuffed with a lot, with a lot of junk food. People don't really cook anymore.
No.
Just in talking with a friend just a couple days ago, I told him I could help him with his diet and his nutrition, and he's like, "I don't really have time." I'm like, "I'm going to save you so much time." Oh, yeah. Because you don't need to spend any time on the fucking Stairmaster.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend extra hours in the gym.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out on like a 4-hour run. You can spend your time cooking and prepping your food and having better quality food going into you so that you can regulate the overall amount of energy that you're consuming all the time and regulate your energy output. It can be manageable, but I think that people aren't sure. Some people aren't sure where to start because they fall into these bad habits of ordering DoorDash, ordering just kind of whatever comes to mind. I was on a walk yesterday, and as I was walking around, I see similar people around town quite often, you know, and I've seen them for years. I used to walk my son Jake around in like a stroller on these same streets. The only thing that has changed has been time. A bunch of time went by.
Yep.
People are fatter now that they're older than when they were younger. Is that genetics too? Is that a genetic component? I'm not fatter than I was when I was younger, but they are. They're limping around there in pain because of, in my opinion, they could have other issues going on, but because of the foods they eat. And I'm just thinking, like, I see people walking around with a bag of, from a local place where they get sandwiches, and I see people with burritos and these different things. And I'm like, these people have the wrong interpretation of food.
Yeah. Like
when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they think about is something that's not actually food. It's like, no, you ate a bagel and cream cheese. I don't even know what category of, like, that's not in any sort of category. That's not on my radar. It's delicious. I know about a bagel and cream cheese, but it's not something I would typically eat. That would be way out of the ordinary for me. People are eating muffins and donuts, and then lunchtime comes and they're having a sandwich, and they're just not getting in the protein. I've mentioned this a million times too. If people would just increase the percentage of protein that they ate, they would lose weight.
You're right.
Every single person in America, if they went from the 11 or 12% that people are on average now, and they went to 15%, 18%, 20%, they would lose weight.
You're absolutely correct. And I think that what we look at is how inexpensive it is to eat like we do. Like, for example, this morning I woke up, I'm like, let me go look at ordering breakfast. I looked at IHOP. It was $25 for an omelet and pancakes. I'm like, oh no, I just had some whey and an outright bar. I'm good to go. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, that's obviously a healthy choice, a healthier choice than what I would have gotten from IHOP. Mm-hmm. So we just bought a whole cow or a half a cow. And we split it with the neighbor. We've got a whole cow, split it with a neighbor. Cool. And I think it came out to like $1,300 for a half a cow. Mm-hmm. So the average per pound, including the grass fed, just running out in Tennessee, just run all over the place. One of those is ours. So it was $1,300. Came out to $5 a pound for T-bone, porterhouse, ribeye, sirloin, and of course the other parts. Right?
Did they package it for you and shit too?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So.
Can we get that shit shipped?
You could probably, out here, you could probably find a farm. But there's so many options and just cooking in bulk. I spend less on my food as someone who doesn't care about how much he spends on food than I guarantee you go to Wendy's, you're not getting out for less than 15. Mm-hmm. There's no dollar menu anymore. The convenience is costing people. People are spending $40 a meal on DoorDash.
Oh yeah.
I know because when I land in California, I always do the same thing. I order kava from, it's my
still never had kava. Everybody talks
Kava
about
bar.
it.
I went recently. Yeah, pretty damn good.
Is it in Sacramento?
There's one in Davis.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so we I always when I get to HQ, I'm like I order 2 meals and have it delivered. It's $50. It's $25 a meal. Damn. When I eat at home, it average of $2, $3. Mm-hmm. Even for steak, I'm not eating a pound of steak. So I'm eating like $2 worth of steak.
Yeah.
And I'm eating veggies. which you could buy in bulk from Costco. I mean, so it doesn't cost a lot of money to eat healthy. And a lot of people, I can't afford to eat. Like, yeah, you can. You're just too easy. You want convenience. And it takes, if you just kick it on the grill top, just cook it on the stove in a pan, really make it nice. It takes 7 minutes to cook a steak.
Yeah.
Like, that's less than microwaving a frozen meal. And people are just lazy. And you could do that every night before the next day. You cook up 3 steaks, take you 15 minutes, have all the meals for the day. But people, for some reason, equate eating healthy with costing too much. You just have to know where to shop. You have to look for deals. Like, I'm not talking about go to whatever stores at Ralph's or whatever out here. Be more resourceful. You go to Costco, you go to other places. You can make sure you get your bang for the buck, or look at farms. Like, that's the way you do it. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, people are just, I don't know, they're caught in their ways.
Well, it's so like right now with eggs being very expensive, or in some places like not even available. I eat 10 eggs a day, like for breakfast. I do that every day. 10
eggs?
Yeah, I've been doing it for almost like 6 months. I feel fantastic.
Really? Why? Yeah. Why so many eggs?
Convenience. So, the whole breakdown was I would do a lot of egg whites and then like 1 or 2 eggs, and my stomach would be hurting pretty bad. Like, I'd be cramping, and then I'd start farting like crazy. So then I added more eggs, and I'm like, okay, it's not as bad. So then I flipped it. So I was having like, 4 or 5 eggs with a little bit of egg whites. And I was like, I'm still not feeling too great, but I'm feeling much better. So then I had just whole eggs, and I'm like, I feel pretty awesome. And then I would get hungrier, so I'd have more eggs because I'd get here and I'd want to eat more food. So when I started eating 10, I wouldn't be hungry throughout the whole day, and I just go home and eat steak. So I have 2 meals a day. It's just 1 really big breakfast and 1 really big dinner.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
how's your results? Like, how's your physique come? I'm totally interested.
Yeah. No. I actually just got my labs done too, so I can show you those. Everything looks pretty good. I forgot which metric of cholesterol is a little bit high, but it's not like I'm not gonna die tomorrow or anything. Physique wise, because I started jiu-jitsu, like, it's getting way better.
Hell yeah.
But like, the energy level's high. I'm feeling strong. And like I said, I'm not getting hungry at all throughout the day, and everything feels good. Like, I would have some high protein, high carb, low fat breakfast foods for breakfast, and I just would get crampy, and then I would get hungry very fast. So again, out of necessity, I just started eating bigger meals that would sustain me throughout the whole day. So I wouldn't have to like, guys, are we done with this podcast? Because I got to go eat.
How would you feel right after the meal? Are you hungry? I'm sorry. Are you stuffed, or do you feel mobile? Like, how do you feel after 10 eggs?
Yeah, I'm definitely not like ready to go work out right after that. There's no way. Like when I got here, we kind of got here at the same time to the gym. Like, yeah. I was able to push and pull the sled a little bit, but I wasn't like interested in rolling like my like psoas out because I was still pretty full. But like right now, like if we go hit the gym after this podcast, I'm ready to rock. But right after, no, I'm not interested in moving around too much. But I do jujitsu in the morning, so then I come home and eat. So I got like some good exercise in already. Then I eat, and then the rest of the day happens. But the reason why I brought that up is because I buy a lot of eggs, and the 60-pack that I used to get at Walmart used to be $10. It's now like 30 something.
California's got the egg thing. It's way worse out here. I went to the store. I'm like, whoa! Like, we're not really getting affected as much in Tennessee. It just seems like every time something bad goes down, I think it's population density. California just gets slammed. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm like, it's a couple bucks extra. I come out here, it's like $400. Like, what the hell just happened?
It was so funny because like, I'm just like, okay, wait for this person. And it was your typical Walmart shopper. He was in a cart, like a scooter, whatever they're called. Basket full of shit, looks at the eggs, and you just hear this like gross voice like, that's outrageous, there's no way I'm gonna pay for that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I grab my 60-pack, and then I think about it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't eat 10 a day, but let's break down the cost, and it was still less than $5 for my breakfast. That's still an amazing deal.
You're not gonna find that anywhere.
No.
Like, and that's the thing about people and being broke. It's not always how much you make, it's how much you spend. Like I said, I can shop at Whole Foods. Why would I spend $30 for something I could spend $5 for at Walmart? Like, are you above Walmart? I will never be above Walmart. The people of Walmart are fantastic. It's the most entertaining place. in the history of the world.
I always buy the expensive eggs, so I didn't.
That's
I
even
haven't,
worse.
I haven't noticed because the expensive eggs
Yeah.
are the same price.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
They didn't go up.
Yeah,
Nice.
I always buy the pastured eggs. Even from Costco, they have the heirloom or the brown
Yeah.
ones, whatever. Yeah, I mean, those eggs are always more expensive. Do you think there's much of a difference? Like, there seems to be nutrition, like
thing is,
micro.
The thing is bright orange. The
Yeah.
yolk is bright orange,
Yes.
but I have no idea if that really matters. or
I
not.
actually,
What do you think, Nsima?
I just
the
eat
egg.
He
eggs,
just eats
dog.
eggs. I reconnected with a friend. She has a bunch of fucking chickens, and so she has. So I'm buying farm fresh eggs, and something she pointed out. She was like, "Well, you know, like the factory farm stuff, they're under a lamp all day long." And it's like, I mean, whether you believe that will transmit into the eggs or whatever, but whatever the case, the hen that laid that egg is under a lot of stress the entire time. So it's like, well, okay, maybe I will opt for this actual free range chicken, because I know free range doesn't actually mean free range when you buy it from the store.
No.
But like, I see these chickens and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get that chicken's eggs. Like, this is great. So that's what I've been, I'm switching over to that now.
Really?
Yeah.
I always struggle with that. Like, is it worth the extra money for the
I've heard
don't
that
know.
it's supposed to have like 11 times the amount of nutrients, but I don't
The
even remember.
DHA,
What,
EPA,
I don't
think's
even
the
remember where I
difference.
heard that, or who the fuck knows. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm always struggling. The egg thing
Struggle is
huge.
real. There's a lot of different eggs.
Yeah, there is. It's overwhelming. It's
We
like
have a
you
lot
got
of
the egg whites.
choices when it comes to like even like something like Greek yogurt.
We're pretty lucky.
There's like a bunch of different choices of Greek yogurt. Like, should I get this one?
And
Should I
just
get
when
this
I
one?
think I'm doing good, Mark, you'll pull out like an even fancier Greek yogurt.
I get
I'm like, what is
I've
that?
been getting lately. I've been getting the 000. That one's pretty good.
Oh, that's good. That's
It has like no fat, no artificial flavors, and yeah, it's I don't know.
It's like all
good.
protein.
It's all pretty much a protein bomb. Tastes good too.
You know, one thing though, like, even though we do know that there's a way to purchase healthier food and not spend as much as if you were buying a lot of processed food.
Yeah.
One of the hurdles for a lot of things is, like you guys kind of both alluded to earlier, the taste factor sometimes is not the same for people. It's hard to enjoy some blueberries and Greek yogurt and have it be as good as Cap'n Crunch.
Cap'n Crunch is delicious.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think
I like Oops All Berries.
there's aspects where maybe like people can maybe try to figure out ways to have things, intermediate aspects of food that can fill the taste buds rather than going for Cap'n Crunch, for example, the outright bar.
Yeah.
I mean, good product like that bar
Alternative.
tastes really good, right? Exactly. Alternatives that can do that, because it takes time for your taste buds to get used to enjoying healthy food to the level that we currently
You have
enjoy
to,
it.
Yeah.
you have to replace it with something that's at least close, right? Because
Yeah.
then people are gonna be frustrated.
Yeah.
You gotta have a replacement.
I could be a carnivore dieter because a steak's just friggin' good. Like, I mean, how do you get better than, how even like, excuse me, even the cheap steak, like some of the, what was it? The cheaper cut, skirt steak, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love steak. Like, steak is amazing. So I never understood that. Like, I'd rather have steak over a Hot Pocket any day of the week. It all tastes, it's weird, it's chewy, it's nasty. Now you get a good dessert, whatever. I can see that, but I think it's just what they're used to. I think it's more of an emotional attachment. Because, I mean, you go to a restaurant, if you overpay for something, it's usually steak. Like, no one's like, no, I want the sweet potato casserole. That's what I'm here for. No, they're there for the steak. Like, why do people spend all that money at Morton's or Del Frisco's? Because steak is good. And it's honestly, again, like, you got to credit the carnivore people for bringing this back to the attention. It's like the healthiest thing you can put into your body. Vegans cannot survive optimally. I don't even think they can survive without supplementing.
Yeah.
They have to B12, and they're still going to be deficient in DHA and EPA. Like, vegans are at a huge disadvantage. And I commend them for doing the lifestyle, whatever.
But they're in touch with their emotions, though.
Yes, very in touch with their emotions. But you can literally live off of meat. You can live off of steak. You could be just fine. Perfectly optimal. You don't need fiber. You'll be fine. You can't do that with the vegan diet. That's why if you're arguing which one's better, you take away the whole killing animals thing. But then I can also argue that veganism kills animals, just not as cute. You know, they kill the mice and the rodents and the insects, but okay, whatever about that. But if you're looking at a superior way to eat, it's going to include meat. And you can survive on meat alone just fine. You could thrive on it. You can't do the same with anything else. So I think that we've been red meat's been vilified since I was a kid. Like, oh, I got to get rid of red meat. I got to get rid of red meat. That was a big thing when I was a kid. People getting rid of red meat. But now we're like, wait, hold on. This could be a part of a great diet. This could be a part of a perfect lifestyle. So you have to re-educate people that, and remember when they went for the low fat phase, Captain Crunch was health food. Remember those commercials? Part of a balanced diet. Well, what does that mean if you combine it with steak? I mean, it's absurd. So we're not only do we have to almost have re-education camps, but we still have the government out there and whoever they're getting paid by, Big Sugar, whatever, you still have them out there saying their same propagandist bullshit that the foods that are actually healthy are unhealthy. And now it's not debatable anymore. Science has pretty much come out and said, yeah, y'all were wrong. You guys were wrong. And no one's ever going to take responsibility for that. But they were so wrong. And how many people did they kill with this advice? You know, I'm not saying, look, at the end of the day, people who eat bad don't even follow the food pyramid. Like, they don't follow much of anything. But the insistence that what's good is bad and what's bad is good, which is pretty much what they used to say, it crippled a lot of people.
How many people spent 10, 15 years maybe straight of eating oatmeal in the morning, thinking it's healthy for them?
Me.
And there's nothing wrong with oatmeal, and especially if you're a bodybuilder and you kind of do your oatmeal the right way, there's a way to do it. But people aren't eating that oatmeal. They're eating the oatmeal that has the sugar in it. They're putting peanut butter in there, and it's delicious. It's amazing that way. So you're thinking like, oh, this serves some multiple purposes. This tastes really good. This brown sugar oatmeal that I'm eating with 5 scoops of peanut butter in it. It has a little protein in it, and you kind of lie to yourself that that's a good meal. Then you go about the rest of your day and probably don't eat very healthy. You didn't really make a good change, but you kind of think in the back of your head that you did. Or I've even remember seeing this with family members where they started purchasing like oats and things like that, thinking this was a healthy endeavor. And it's like, that has 16 grams of sugar in it. Again, nothing wrong with sugar necessarily when used correctly and eaten responsibly, but you're going to overeat these things.
You are, and it just sets you up for a bad day. And oats in the right way. I mean, beta glucans and the fiber. I mean, good stuff. But the way most people eat it, like even grits, it's fine. They're fine. Have you ever seen, like, I used to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles all the time as a kid. And the way you eat grits isn't like Ronnie Coleman ate grits. Like it's 90% butter.
It's butter.
And like, I used to put sugar in mine. I used to butter and sugar guy. And, or you could do it the other way where it's no sugar. It's just like more savory. But dude, I mean.
That would be good by itself. Just melted butter and sugar. That'd be delicious.
That is delicious.
Dude, I was at Cheese Cake Factory one day and I was just eating globs of butter with their bread. This was years ago. But I was literally like cutting up a big glob of butter, putting it on that brown bread, letting it melt in and putting it in my mouth. That brown bread
is kind of sweet.
It is.
It has like a sweet flavor to it.
And as I was eating, I'm like, I know what this is doing to other people.
Food Pyramid says Lucky Charms are healthier than steak.
Now, I think that was actually misinterpreted.
This is the thing. Yeah, there's a little thing on this post that says fact checkers say at least one photo or video in this post could mislead people. But I wonder if the thing next to it, go to the next part of it. If you can swipe.
What do you mean? Sorry.
Was this accurate?
So what it was, I believe, is it was a comparison based on its category. So it was actually Joe Rogan just kind of took it, but the original information that Joe Rogan got was supposedly, I didn't look too much into it, supposedly not exactly accurate or misinterpreted.
Okay.
So I doubt that's a score on basically the category of the food. So obviously a whole egg isn't a carb. So I think that's where the misinterpretation is. But that does, just seeing something like this, it does kind of putting Honey Nut Cheerios above whole egg. I think that's bad no matter where you put it. But yeah, I think it was completely misinterpreted from what I understand. But if you look at that, that's what people eat. People eat garbage. And it's like, my kids have never been to McDonald's. They've ever eaten a McDonald's burger. And, you know, they see what's good, but most people have no idea what they're eating. Most people have donuts for breakfast. You know, and we got to realize we're in a minority. We're in the minority of people who have cognizant of what's going into our body. Most people have no freaking idea what's going into their body. And that's why they fall for the quick fix pills.
Your kids have never been to McDonald's? Like they've never gone with like a friend after a game or something like that?
No, I believe Thomas's friend last week took him to one. I don't think he got anything. Yeah, my kids don't.
At this point, they're like, that's not good for us.
Yeah, them don't. If we're going to eat fast food, it's going to be Chipotle or some kind of like a kava or something like that. Everybody's cognizant of what's going in their body. Now, my sons are one's a lineman and one's a hard gainer. So, ice cream's on the menu twice a day. But at the end of the day, it's not the processed fast food. And even the ice cream you buy is going to be the better ice cream.
Yeah.
But they're boys. They're young. But my daughter wouldn't touch it. No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's way more aware.
Yeah.
Than the other kids. So like when we're at soccer tournaments with the team and the team will order pizza in, we'll go get her something a bit healthier.
How do you eat? Like, do you, I imagine like you're at home in the morning and then you leave and go for work for a while and then you come back. Do you usually just like cook some food in the morning and then cook when you come home? Like what does it look like for you?
So I'll eat breakfast at home. Normally lately it's just been steak and eggs. Pretty simple with that. And before training, I'll have an outright bar. Pre and post workout, I'll eat a bar. And that's usually my bar. I might have one or two later if I'm hungry, if I'm on the go. Generally speaking, I'll take 2 or 3 meals with me. Mm-hmm. It's usually veggies and steak or something of that nature, maybe some sweet potatoes or carbs of that sort, sometimes rice. Just depends on how I feel that day. And I'll drink a lot of whey protein. I'll usually get 2 or 3 shakes of that a day. Sometimes I'll take an Ambrosia Planta if I want a little different thing. And then I eat dinner at home, and then I have 2 scoops of whey protein before bed. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty simple, and it's easy because when I'm out, I just take my food. If I don't have anything made, I take a bit. The 11-ounce tuna packets are still like $3 for like 11 ounces. It's like 60 grams of protein. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty simple. It's and I don't slip on my diet. Like when we go out to eat, if we're we're eating burgers, I'll usually get just the patties and a lettuce wrap. I normally don't waste my calories on empty bullshit. Yeah. Because I feel it's not because I'm anti-bread. It's not because I don't like certain things. And I will have a treat here or there, but I just don't crave it. I don't crave food. I haven't craved food in forever.
But you used to be fat when you were young.
Yeah. And that was...
You were like 280, 290?
I got to 290. Yeah, I got to 290. And
How old were you?
I was 18.
Whoa.
And that was when I was playing football. And, it was...
You weren't just fat. You were big and you were lifting and stuff.
And I was in phenomenal shape. Like I was running, I was doing conditioning with the basketball team because I wanted to go D1.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to eat and train. So I'm a simple guy. You give me a task. Like even with the company now, with my companies, I'm like, hey, if you guys have ideas, give it to me. I'll do it. I'll make it happen. I need to execute. So I had a plan. I was going to execute it. It was pretty simple. Here's what I need to do. I'm going to eat as much as possible. I'm going to train as hard as possible. So I used to train with my junior year I used to train with a guy named Leon and Coach Miles. They took me under their wing. We'd train, and then Leon and the basketball team was nice enough to let us do conditioning with them in the off season. Mm-hmm. So I was in phenomenal shape, but I was fat as hell. But it was a good fat. It was like very well, I didn't have a big belly. Everything was it was like if you took fat and evenly proportionate on every part of my body.
Yeah.
So I didn't look sloppy, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
I just looked kind of diesel for a 18-year-old kid, 17, 18-year-old kid. And
but 290 on your frame, man, that is a lot of mass.
And that's why my knee gave out, man. There was too much weight on these little ass. Look at my wrists. Like I got girl wrists. I got girl knees.
Same girl wrists here.
Yeah, I'm good with it though. I'm good with it. So yeah, it was, I had a goal and football was my way to get out of my situation. And I was not going to let that pass up, even if I was undersized, way undersized. Yeah, there's my brother.
Big boy right there.
Yeah, the hair is still there.
Did you used to crave food? Like, have you gotten to situations where you used to crave food much? Because it's pretty uncommon amongst bodybuilders. Don't they usually crave certain things? I
don't think I've ever craved food. I do. I have if you give me a good poke bowl, like the clean rice, and that's my shit. Mm-hmm. That if you give me that over anything, like even after I after I got my pro card, I remember I was with Jose Raymond and my buddies and Sean, and we went to Hop Dottie's Burger. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It tasted better because I won. And then I went back and it was still amazing, but it tastes so good. And I wasn't even hungry. I just knew I had to eat. Like, cause if you've ever carved up and competed, like by the end of the day, you're so, and at the end, like you're so nervous cause you're up there. And you know, I didn't expect to win that day because those guys looked good. Like these are the best people going for these are guys who qualified for this, right? And there's hundreds of dudes. And I'm like, my stomach was tore up from just stress and then like carbing up and like all the different things and the nerves and like, I'm like, well, we got to go get a burger. But that was the best burger I ever ate. I think it's because I won. And like I had a cookie, crumble cookies.
Still haven't had that. People talk about those a lot.
So we actually, our headquarters for the company that our partner company in Ambrosia, we share a headquarters with Crumble Cookies.
Why does this always happen? We're like heading in a direction and then
Have you had crumble cookies?
no, I
They're
haven't. I
really
haven't.
good.
I've had insomnia cookies. I don't know if that's similar at all.
I've heard they weigh like 10 pounds each, though.
It didn't seem that big at the time.
We're doing good, and then like cocaine comes up, and then or like
That was
cookies
you.
come up. It's like whoosh,
This is
you
like
know?
attention deficit disorder.
Yeah, it's like all I can think about is cookies.
I don't know what were we talking about?
I'm just looking for old pictures.
Oh
man.
wow.
Oh yeah. I loved it, man. It was, I mean, but we had In-N-Out Burger right by the high school. It wasn't that hard. We had a McDonald's. Oh, I ate the hell out of McDonald's. I mean, to get that fat, it takes work.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of work.
So you mentioned that you're good at sales. So
Yeah.
I would like for you to sell us and to sell our listeners on your theory on why you think Mike O'Hearn might be natural.
You're just
Doesn't
trying
need to sell me.
So what's funny is when I come on this show, I usually get a bump in subscribers. I'm gonna actually get a decrease in subscribers.
You will.
I've literally lost subscribers for saying that I'm not even saying he is. I'm saying there's a chance. Because I don't know if anybody's, I know if I'm telling the truth. I never know 100% if someone's telling the truth.
It's hard to know.
So when I think I was 15, I could have been 16, and I lived in Culver City, California, and it's right by Venice. So I used to train at Gold's Venice. And I remember I'm in there, and I think I was in the area where I was doing legs, but it was leg press. And you can see straight ahead of you, and I think they still have the same setup, there's a reverse hyper machine. At that time, Mike was married to Mindy, and it was before I even knew who Mike O'Hearn was. I didn't know what this thing was. So I'm looking in front of me, and there's a dude on the hyperextension, and there's like 6 fucking plates on each side. And there's like, you saw Mindy. She was very, very easy to spot. And I didn't know she was Mindy that day, but I found out afterwards. And then like 2 or 3 other guys. And I remember seeing this guy, this gorgeous physique, gorgeous flowing hair. And he's lifting this. Like this would have detached my lower body from my upper body. Like it was like normal to lift all this weight. And then he stood up and there's this fucking godly physique, like even covered up. And this was in 1996. 1996. That's a long
4 years old.
time ago.
Yeah.
I was 15, 16. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And honestly, like, then I started working for Weeder at 19. So obviously I got to know Mike a little bit. Obviously we wrote about him in magazines. He might not even remember this. I think I went to his house one time way back. And so as I've seen him through the years, he doesn't look that much different. Mike is assuming he could be natural. Not going to make a definitive statement because I like my social media following. Assuming he's not, like, this is the culmination, the marriage of amazing genetics and probably the most consistent, great work ethic we've ever seen in a human being. I remember another time I had to go, Gold's used to open at 4 a.m. I think they still do. I got there at 4:30. And I remember they used to have a stationary bike sitting up top, overlooking the gym. There's fucking Mike pedaling on the bike. At 4, he was already there. Like he beat me to the gym.
Yeah.
So when I talk about Mike and getting to know Mike and no, not like, kind of like you and I, like we don't hang out on weekends, but like we're friendly, we're friends. We share, we talk once in a while. Like he's such a nice guy. And he plays it off, and he's never been, he never like, he doesn't play the natty thing. He doesn't go out and say, hey, I'm Mike O'Hearn, I'm natural. I think for him to be as old as he is, which I honestly didn't know he was that old till recently.
I think he's in like mid-50s at this point, right?
He won't
Early
say his,
50s?
notice he won't say his
Early
exact
50s.
age.
He's in his early 50s.
He won't say his exact age though. He's always like, I'm in my 50s. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's 10 years. Like you have 10 to choose from. Like if he was truly on even TRT, you'd see some decline. And there's no way with what he does. And he was an accomplished martial arts guy too.
Yeah.
With what he does, how much he travels, there's no way he would maintain that conditioning without health ramifications. And the dude is healthy from what we can see. His skin, if you look at people who use a lot of steroids for a long period of time, their skin looks like shit. It just does. I don't know if it's from the liver. Mike's skin, whether it's from, there's no surgery, no Botox that can make a man's skin look that perfect.
Yeah.
I think we just have a man who, if he is assumptively natural, who has combined the perfect lifestyle with the perfect genetics. And here we are. It's a once in a lifetime fucking thing. He is the anomaly. He is the exception.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he is on drugs, in his, like Dexter.
This is where we always end up. Even if he's on him, he's still amazing.
So Dexter retired.
Yeah.
He's probably about 50 pounds lighter. He looks like a normal guy. Like look at Dexter Jackson's social. He looks fantastic, but he's not Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he might have been on steroids. There's a chance. Dexter might have taken steroids. Mike has not lost 1 ounce. There's no way if he, and he looks great. Look how good Dexter looks.
Looks incredible.
Props to Dexter.
I'm
what a
happy.
healthy looking man.
No, I'm happy. That's awesome.
I love Dexter to death.
see.
Nicest guy. But I mean, he looks normal. Mike looks the same. There's no way Mike could maintain that level if he
Unless he's just been going hard since he was 17.
but then he wouldn't be this healthy. Like, look at a guy who's gone hard on drugs for that long. They don't look good.
I think him and Nsima have the same doctor. So we're starting to think about here.
Did we go there again? Now he already hates me from earlier. No, but I mean, seriously, like Dexter's a good example because here's a guy who looks fantastic, but he's obviously decreased what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me Mike's been blasting for 50 years?
Yeah, dude.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
50
That's what
years
the
he's
internet-
been on
yeah,
shit.
That's what they would say.
What do you guys think? You're not, come on, pussy. He'll talk about
just walks
anything.
away.
Reddit has fucked me so much for my statements on this. So I'm just not gonna. People know what I think already. So I think he's probably natural. I think he's probably natural.
I'm over 50% in the belief that Mike O'Hearn is natural.
50.1.
50.01.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Well, I know you've talked about this before, Mark, too, but
Yeah, I think Mike does put in the work. You know, I do think that maybe over the last several years or so, he's left it a little bit more. Like he used to talk about it more.
yeah.
He used to kind of attack it more directly. So I don't know if anything's changed or whatever, but I just look at him as somebody that I admire a lot, and
Yes.
I love the work ethic. I've trained with him before. I'm sure you've trained with him before.
I know we always miss each other.
Oh, you got to get the
I'm
experience
kind
of training.
of
with him.
fucking scared. The guy's squatting like 405 for 30. Like, I like life.
It's something to be scared about. I mean, really is, because like he's so nice when you train with him, though. It's actually really interesting because he likes to joke and like you make fun of each other and stuff, and he's good at like giving some good jabs and stuff. But when you train together, he's extremely positive the entire time, and there's exercises and things that he'll do that I didn't have the ability or the mobility at the time to do some of the movements. But I just did them, and he didn't care how I did them. He was just like, you know, he goes and then you go, and he puts on 8 plates and you put on 2 plates, and you go back and forth and you try to figure it out. But it was amazing, and it was fun to be able to, I couldn't really push him on much of anything
No.
except for pace, you know, on the pace and just like trying to stick to the workout and stick to, because he'll be there forever. So I didn't mind like
That's what he does.
I didn't mind helping
Yeah.
with like the tempo of the whole thing, where he'll just kind of like want to just really take his time. But he's an amazing athlete. I look up to him. I don't fucking care. I don't care if he takes steroids or
Yeah,
not.
I love the guy. Like, I truly, like, he's my man crush. Like, God, what a gorgeous man. But I mean, he's just a good guy. Like, I think people get so upset at excellence. I think that Mike is the epitome of just fitness excellence. And the way he conducts himself, like, he's had a couple things people call it, like the duck egg thing, whatever.
The
And
frog.
yeah, the frog. But you know what? We've all had misses.
Yes.
And I mean, look, at the end of the day, is Mike O'Hearn a net positive to the world?
I believe so.
Does he motivate people? Yes. I think Mike O'Hearn's changed a lot, saved people's lives.
You have to work out with him.
I'm always.
It'll be a great experience.
We had the one time I think we missed each other, and then he was supposed to be at Iron Wars a couple years ago. He couldn't make it last minute. I'm like, yeah, we'll catch a workout there. He's like, I can't make. Oh shit. So yeah, I'll put it on my next to-do list.
You'll see his passion shine through when you work out with him, because he stops and he'll sit there and he'll talk to the camera and he explains everything, and he'll be filming you and he'll be, hey, check this out. This is what's happening here. And you're just like, almost like, why does this guy even care anymore? Because he's been doing this for so long.
Because he loves it.
He does. He loves it.
He absolutely, he's a student of the sport. I respect anybody who is a master of what they do, who's excellent, I've met a lot of professional athletes, from soccer players to football players to baseball players. If you're a professional athlete, other pros give you props. Like I'll get hate on the internet, but never have I had like any of, like, even one of my, Derek Morgan, he played for the Titans for 9 years, linebacker. So his kid was on my son's football team, and he was one of their coaches. So here's a guy who's one of the best linebackers in Titans history. And he's like, well, it's pretty fucking awesome. Like, you're a pro bodybuilder. I'm like, you're playing the NFL. You're a linebacker. Like, you kill people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just this respect of people who do awesome things. Like, you look at, like, for as a business owner, we all have to kind of look at Elon Musk as our new god. Like, even if you don't like him, like, this guy's sending shit to space. He has a floating, there's Derek. Great guy. He has a floating fucking internet system. He has fucking Twitter. Like, I don't care if you love him or hate him. Like, you gotta pour out some liquor for the homie.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have to respect greatness. And Mike O'Hearn, I don't care if he fucking has an IV of Tren when he goes home. Like, I don't care. Like, God, what, and take.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
Why don't you care?
About him being on drugs?
I mean, if he did have an IV of Tren, is that just like a joke, or like
what is the net positive he brought to society?
A lot.
How many lives have he saved? How many people has he got training who wouldn't have trained without him?
Yeah.
How many kids did he inspire when he was American Gladiator? Just us talking about him, that's a net positive to society. So you have to look at what someone contributes to the world. Like Derek Morgan, okay, he played on the Titans. Yeah, guess what? My son had a fucking great year and fell in love with the sport. Along with Coach Mike and the other coaches, these guys, they're changing lives. Like, even just one life, that's a net positive.
okay?
So people, I didn't even know, dude, I don't,
You're coaching these kids as well.
yeah, I don't,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. I don't give a shit. I didn't know who Derek Morgan was. I don't watch football. And then he said something about like, when I played, I thought he played in high school. I had no idea. And then my wife's like, I'm like, he played football. Then I looked up like, holy shit, this guy's like the real deal. Like 9 years with the same team, Georgia Tech, All-American. I'm like, holy shit. No, he doesn't floss, drives a normal car, really nice house. But I mean, dude's legit. Like, that's what I found about successful people. And he has this thing where he's helping and buying property in these underserved communities, and he's getting with other players. He's doing altruistic things. That's good. People do that.
Yeah.
Get back to the money thing. Like, most successful people are really nice. Like, these are good people. So like, I look at Mike O'Hearn, like, what is the net positive he's had on the world?
Yeah.
And it's a huge net positive. We could even talk about, and I'll get from a ethics standpoint. All right. I kind of think Liver King's a jackass. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
But did he help people? I think net Liver King's positive. What he did do bad is, now we were talking about this earlier, I was talking to Chris, is that now no one believes that I'm on only TRT. But that's always been a thing. But people are like, no, you're on I'm like, no, seriously. I literally showed you guys my prescription. I'm only 208. Like, I'm not fucking Kai Green. And it's like, no, well, he was lying, so you're lying. So that's the thing I see negative. At the end of the day, I don't really want people eating raw meat, even though I've seen you do it. It's just weird. But like, how many lives did he help? And now I look at Liver King, and before it was emotional, because even I felt like, I was like, I think the guy's natural. I literally was defending him. Yeah. I'm like, nope, until someone catches him, and then I'll be the first one to speak out. So when I lashed out, it was emotional. I will do it again, and I will apologize. I'm not apologizing by any means, but as I'm reading people, this guy helped me beat diabetes. Or I'm like, so overall, do I like the Liver King? As a person, I'm sure he's a nice guy. As a human being, I think he's not the best human being for playing it the way he did.
Yeah.
But that's my again, I'm not God, right? Like, only God can judge.
You were frustrated because he lied to.
Yes, I felt lied to.
A community that you've been part of for a long time.
And because I took up for him.
Yeah.
I actually did. I'm like, I don't think his physique's that impressive, is what I said. And it wasn't an insult. He's only 195 pounds. In perspective, we're the same height.
See, I'm not so dumb. I thought the same thing you did.
But I'm the same height, and if I ate and didn't skip meals like I've been all week,
we've had a lot of people on the show with better physiques. I think Nsima has a better. I know a lot of people with better physiques that I believe are natural.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it was one of those things where he's only 195 pounds. That's not big, and he's my height, and I'm bigger than it. Like,
he sold it too. He's like, I don't even have any legs.
He did sell it.
If I was on steroids, would I have small legs?
Stuff like that's great. My brother's skinny. Look at my brother.
And that's the difference. That's the difference in weight. I have some big legs, and he doesn't. You know, we're the same height, and that's not. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, I did feel hurt, so I lashed out, and I'm like, fuck this guy, dude. Fuck him. And it does. I still stand by. He made us all look bad, but. If I'm going to be like, was he a net positive society? Absolutely. Absolutely. And even if people find out now that he's a liar, this and that, they've already changed their lives.
Yeah.
It's a really shitty way to get people to change their lives, by lying. But, you know, maybe they started, I'm not going to tell people to eat bull testicles, and, you know, I don't get the whole walking on grass thing, how it's going to change your life. I mean,
makes your beard grow.
But you get outside. But I'm not going to go in and just okay, guys, it's free. Go walk on that icy grass.
How about as a
go ahead.
How about as a businessman? I'm curious what your thoughts on him as a businessman, because you're an entrepreneur, a very successful one. He's been a very successful entrepreneur.
I don't know enough about his business to opine on that.
Okay,
but I like rich people. Like I said, a poor person never gave me a job, so I'm again like net positive. He's good. Mike O'Hearn. Again, man, I will be shocked if he's on steroids. I said this earlier, if he is on steroids, like Liver King, I wasn't shocked. I was just sad. I was sad and upset. I was hurt. I literally was, because I'm like, I think he's natural. I was the one like, nah, you guys are just haters. And then we saw and it wasn't just like a cycle. It was a cycle. Like, I was like,
did you like at all the fact that he was like animated and a little bit pro wrestlery, or did you not like that?
I like people promoting themselves in their own way, you know, like obviously Mike Rashid does it different than me, who does it different than Chris Jones. Like, we all have our own thing. His thing was like, okay. And you could tell it was manufactured, like somewhat, but we all do that. Like, I start every video with boom.
A little shtick going in.
I don't go to soccer and boom, what's up everyone? How you doing? My son's here to play soccer. No, we all,
he should.
That's why, that's why podcasting
like,
is.
Who's this guy?
That's why what you do is so pure, because you get people in a conversational setting. When you see my topic videos, it's me kind of, you know, I'm gonna exaggerate. I've calmed that down because I'm 42 and I just don't feel like fucking yelling and getting angry every day. But you know, we all have a hyperbole of ourselves.
Yeah.
And it might be minor, it might be different, but because we're talking to a camera. it's going to be different. So even if we're subconsciously doing it, we're not going to be as legit as we are when we're sitting on our couch. It's situational. Like I said about our kids earlier, you got to be situational with it. You know, like if my kid's going to do whatever, make sure it's the situation. Like don't just cry in the middle of class because you got a D on the test. Like just internalize it and then go cry when you have a chance to cry. Go cry it out. So I do feel that he wasn't that positive now that I look back. And I think, but what I was getting at is I would actually be shocked if he wasn't natural because he's done everything right. And if there's ever anyone who could be the guy who proves everyone that you could do anything naturally, it's Mike, because he's done everything right. I've seen the guy eat. He has a meal named after him at the fucking firehouse.
Really?
Yes. Wow. He's the fucking guy. Like he's our guy. Like he's the fitness industry's guy. And I'm not afraid, like, but you say anything about that. What baffles me, again, like how angry people got when I posted that thing yesterday on my Instagram about how this guy said, you're on more than TRT. I'm like, I don't know how to prove otherwise. What do I have to do to, I'm like, well, I appreciate that. It's a compliment.
We're
it just
in a
means
funny
I have to work
spot
hard.
now that we're arguing about like dosaging rather than like
It's
whether
so
someone's
weird,
on or not
but
on.
I'm the one who's like, yep, I'm on steroids. And people are like, TRT is not steroids. It is. I'm injecting testosterone in my body. I'm on steroids. Just because it's regulated, it's legal and it's controlled by a doctor doesn't mean it's not steroids. It just means it's therapeutic and not extracurricular, right? But people get so mad. They get so mad at Mike O'Hearn. They get so mad at me. And it's like, why? Why are you mad? And why are you commenting? Like, if you don't like, if I don't like something, I'm not going to go shit on somebody. Like, why do you need to do this and just be so negative? Like, let people live in their bubble.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, we talk about sleep all the time on the podcast because it's one of the biggest things that helps you with your health and fitness, your recovery, your muscle gain, your fat loss, everything. That's why we've partnered with 8 Sleep for such a long time now, because the technology behind the mattress allows you to track your heart rate, the amount of times it takes you to fall asleep, your tosses and turns, your heart rate variability. It changes its temperature through the night based off how you sleep, but not only yourself, but maybe your partner on the other side of the bed. It is an amazing mattress. Andrew, how can they learn more?
Yes, head over to 8sleep.com/power project. That's 8 spelled out, EIGHT, sleep.com/power project. Along with more information, you guys will actually save $150 off of your entire order automatically. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
Have the comments ever really hurt you before or hurt like...
Not anymore.
Or negatively impacted like you and or your family in some way?
The death threats didn't work. The hazmat coming to my house due to we had a anthrax sent to us. I can actually I can actually if I can airdrop it to you, we could put it up there. I got the picture of the friggin' hazmat in my house. Yeah,
Did
we had
some of these things. Did they really upset you, or how did you?
That upset me. No, it used to, but now it's kind of funny. I'm just happy that people are still watching me, to be honest. Like, because I don't know who these people are, yet I'm somehow making them mad for just existing. That's what's really, so for me, it's like, I'm kind of happy that I'm a little bit relevant. You know, I think it's a relevance thing. I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me anymore. It used to really get to me. It used to really hurt me.
What's the difference now, you think?
It's just
maturity.
Well, I had a friend who became a paramedic. First time he saw a dead body, he threw up, and then it just became a part of his day. It's just you get desensitized to it, and you just learn that these people have problems. Like, they're hurt. There's something they're missing in their life where they have to lash out and get angry. And Mike O'Hearn being on drugs really isn't something that I wake up every morning concerned about. You know, it's just, it doesn't concern me. Or Mike O'Hearn doing a shoulder press. I don't need to go out and go, yeah, but you're on steroids. It's just not something that really takes up any mind share of mine. Instead, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this guy's rich, in shape. That's great. Good for him. I think it's the ability to not let, jealousy is a sin. Like, jealousy is a horrible thing to have. And to be able to actually be happy for someone's success and not jealous of them, that's when you've truly, I think, reached your peak as a human being. To be able to actually be happy for someone's accomplishments and not jealous that you didn't have those same accomplishments. I'll never look as good as Mike O'Hearn. I'll never be as tall as Mike O'Hearn, but I can learn a lot from how Mike O'Hearn conducts himself.
did you recognize a lot of jealousy in yourself from when you were younger, like as you've gotten older?
I don't think so. In hindsight, I think there was a little bit of I can remember looking at like, fuck that guy, you know, like, but then you're like, wait, why is, then I want to learn why, like, cause then I was like, well, why is that guy rich and I'm not? And then it turned out to be like, why am I mad? I need to learn from this guy. Yeah. Like I can get mad at Mike for being smoother than Mike Rashid for being smoother than me and cooler than me and being able to deliver messages better than me. Or I can, you know, truly value the friendship we have and learn, like, and learn from Mike and learn from these people. Like living where I live in Brentwood, Tennessee, you know, I'm around rich, successful people all the time. And I'm not like, well, fuck that guy. He has a bigger house than me. I'm like, I want his house. How did he get there? And what can I learn? So instead of hating on someone, embrace it and figure out what their secret sauce is. You know, like the Krabby Patty formula.
It's TRT.
It's always TRT.
It's always TRT.
TRT is not that great. It just brings you to normal. It's like, like nobody's becoming Mr. Olympia on TRT.
Yeah. So actually, on that note, you know, you used to use steroids for shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And now you've been doing TRT for a while. So why do you continue TRT? Is it just
I don't produce testosterone. At 27, I basically overworked through college and I didn't sleep and I abused my body, not through drugs or anything, but just by working too hard because I had goals. And at 27, it was like, dude, your body is not producing test. And I haven't tried to, you know, come off, and I'm 42 and I guess I could try, but it's been so long.
Would there be any benefit?
No, I mean, if you look at the data, TRT, if done therapeutically, it actually is longevity. It's anti-aging. Anti-aging is usually anti-dying. If you're not in a super physiological level of testosterone, I'm basically normal. So just because it's exogenous, the only difference is I'm not producing my own.
Okay.
So it's kind of like thyroid hormones for women. We were talking about that earlier. Like, you know, my mother-in-law's on a thyroid hormone because her thyroid doesn't produce enough thyroid. So it's like enough T3, T4. So is she a cheater? Is she a druggie? Is she a steroid abuser? Just because it's her thyroid and not her, you know, her testosterone? Is that different? For me, it's about optimization, and I'm optimized. And my fear is that if I don't kick in, then it's like, well, what did I just do? Yeah. And then by the time it kicks in, I'm wasting 2 months of my life waiting for my balls to kick back. And I don't even know how it would work. Yeah. So I guess I'd have to introduce HCG or whatever they're using now, because HCG is illegal now. So gonadotropin, I guess. And then Nolvadex, or I don't even know how we do it.
And it's complicated.
It is. And I just feel right now I feel too good. Like, I don't know if you guys could tell, but this is the healthiest I've ever been. Like my blood work is insane. My energy levels are great. I didn't sleep much. My flight was delayed. I had to get up this morning for a call. I got like 3 hours of sleep. I'm great. I'm crushing it. I know I have to catch up on sleep this weekend. So it's like, okay, why would if I found optimal, I don't think I get better than this. I think I'm peak as far as how I feel. Yeah. I'm peak.
We mentioned coaching a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen many times on your Twitter feed, you've gotten political. Yeah. Many times. And I think last time you were here, I may have asked you if you had any desire to get into politics, and I think you kind of said no. But anyway, I think it's cool that you're coaching, and one of the reasons why I think it's cool that you're coaching is because a lot of times people will complain. They'll complain about the school, they'll complain about the state or the city they're in or the town they're in, and then they won't service that town or city. I'm guilty, totally guilty. I'll bitch about something, and then I'm not like doing anything proactively to help or assist. So what got you into coaching?
It's what I'm on earth to do. When I was a kid, you know, I was going down the wrong path, doing crimes and bad stuff. And it was a Coach Miles, Culver City High School. And I was like, man, I got to get out of this. I was a sophomore and just got done with the JV season, and I sucked terrible. And I was like, I need to do this.
Wrestling, right?
Football.
Oh, football.
Never wrestled. So he was like, I want to, so he was training with Leon. I mentioned Leon earlier. And I'm like, hey guys, I want to train with you guys. And they're like, they kind of laughed at me. Like, you suck. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, nope, I'm going to start next year. I'm going to go to college, get a scholarship. Here I am, like 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing. And they're like, all right, if you keep up with us today, you're in. And I'm like, all right. So man, there was chest day. We did incline press and I kept up with them. I died the next day, but dude, I kept up with them. And at that point, I started training with them. Then all over the summer, Leon and I just trained every day, 6 hours a day, man. We were in the gym, we were running, we were rocky. Came back, was 170 when I started with them, 240 my junior year. That's when the colleges started looking and everything. But Coach Miles was the reason that I'm not dead right now. So Coach Miles gave me an opportunity. And he I don't even know if he's a reverend, by the way. And I don't even know if he realized what he was doing. But he was just like, he encouraged me and he accepted me. And he believed in me, even if he didn't believe in me. He gave me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep up with these guys. And they brought me in. And after that, I realized that changed my life. Like, okay, you have parents, you have everything, but sometimes, you know, what is it? A good coach can win a game. A great coach can change a life. And my whole life, I've just wanted to be a part of developing kids to be their best, to be able to win at life. Look, man, if I coach, I have a few kids who've gone D1.
What are you coaching right now?
So right now we have Legacy at Carbon, which is our youth performance. We coach everything. So we have everything from, so high schools will outsource their strength to us.
Yeah.
So we got like a couple high schools.
I've seen you doing drills and
team.
stuff with kids, right?
Yep. So
maybe you can pull up a couple of clips of that.
If you go to Legacy at Carbon, there's a lot of stuff. The Instagram, but you know, a lot of basketball teams, lacrosse, a lot of football players, young kids as little as 6 years old come in there, and it's just, it is the most rewarding thing ever. And I started coaching, and it's my passion. And when I'm done with, my goal is after I'm done with these companies, and you know, I've sold them off, and I've stayed my 3 years afterwards is, and I don't know, this could be 10, 15 years from now, is to just coach kids.
Yeah.
And you know, I've basically, there's me in front of some kids. That's last week.
How is your wife with this? Because this could be time consuming. Like, it's cool that you're excited about it, but
There's Lauren.
You have a lot of other things going on. That's your daughter?
No, that's Lauren. That is my wrestler. She was beating up dudes last week.
Damn.
That was what was that? That was 255 pounds. So she's insane.
Damn.
I love Lauren to death. She's like she is you know, she wasn't like that when before she found wrestling and sport. Like she was, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. Her parents probably respect this, but she was kind of trying to find direction in life. And she has a great family. But sport kind of brought it all together. Her grades are up and she has a purpose. She has a reason. This is Bryce's old facility. But yeah, Bryce is my head coach over there. And, you know, I go to as many, when I'm home, I'll go to every session at night. So that's my evening. So the thing is, like, my wife wants to do this. You know, this is after we got a whole baseball program we're helping with. So yeah, Bryce is a great guy. He's a genius. So he's actually going to be presenting with me at the Kabuki Strength Summit in February. So we'll be on there. But it's, you know, kids, it's everything. And if I didn't have a coach, I wouldn't be here right now. I definitely wouldn't be standing here on this rock carpet. You know, it was a coach that changed my life. It wasn't a teacher. It was a coach. And sport is everything. My kids, you know, that's the adversity we talked about. That's what builds them. Yeah. That's what gives them that mindset to be able to do it. And also, you talk about obesity. What a better way to set these kids on a life of health and happiness. And also, you got to realize my presentation at Kabuki is about ACL tears and knee valgus and preventing that. And you realize every time a girl steps on a soccer field, she has a 5% chance of that ACL going. 20% of the girls on my daughter's high school soccer team, every year, 20% of the team goes down with ACLs, non-contact, because we don't coach them. The key is you got to keep these kids from getting injured. So we're teaching kids to be stronger, to be faster, and prevent injuries. So when they're our age, they don't have aches and pains from when they played those sports. And it just sets them forth on such a trajectory to success in their private and in their personal lives, in their business lives, gets their mindset right, and also keeps them out of trouble. And that's why we do it. You know, coaching it's my passion. It's my dream. And it's what I want to do when I grow up. But God put me on this earth to do that. I'm completely confident that he set forth all these trials and tribulations and that experience I had with Coach Miles. And then he gave me some talents to be able to make enough money to be able to, when that's over, put all my eggs in that basket and just go with it and not worry about making money. Make enough money now where I can do that and I can affect as many lives as possible. I'm firmly committed to that I believe that's why I was put on this earth. 100%.
And your family is okay with you because it must take a tremendous amount of time. So I'm just thinking you got these businesses and stuff like that.
My days are dynamic. I train in the morning and then I go from, I'll have anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of meetings a day. And look, I fill up every bit of that 18 hours in a day. It's filled. Then I go to bed and I just, rinse, repeat and go. And I couldn't imagine any other way. My days are not boring. Like they're there. And after coaching, I'm okay sitting through a 3-hour conference call because I just got done doing that. I just got done moving around. It's probably how I stay so lean. I'm always moving, but if you're doing what you love to do, and my wife's very supportive and my daughter's, she works with us. Like my daughter's out there coaching her peers, Ravenwood, there's two main public high schools in Brentwood. It's Ravenwood and Brentwood. My daughter goes to Ravenwood, plays on the soccer team. She's coaching kids from every other schools because it's a family business. We don't pick teams. We want our teams to win. If we're coaching you, we're on you, we got you. So it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And that's why we're like, let's do this. We have a great partnership with Carbon Performance, which is our gym out there. You guys would love it. It's a beautiful area. But yeah, we our new facility opens in April. Right now we're using an old facility, which is still great, but it's not optimal.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah. And I recommend every parent get out there and be an assistant coach. It's the best thing you could do for your kids. Like I've trained all my kids, you can't, and I learned how to coach. I never played soccer. I played 1 year. I was a keeper when I was 10. I went and I got licensed in soccer coaching. So I coached every one of my kids in soccer. I went and coached the wrestling team strength for my daughter last year. So, and I'm coaching my son's football team next year. So I corner my kid at his matches now, my 10-year-old. So there's no better way to spend time with your kids than get out there and coach. Don't just watch. Don't just yell at the umpires and the refs. Get out there and be involved. Be the bat boy. Do something. Like you don't have to be a sideline parent. You can be there. You can influence their lives and it's the best memories you'll ever have. Best memories.
Incredible. Andrew, want to take us on out of here, buddy?
We're now 9 minutes away from 3 hours. So I don't know if you guys want to have more stuff to talk about.
Are you serious? I held my bladder for 3 hours.
Yeah, you did good. I did want to ask you though. I do love the 2 rules that you have in the house. You got to play a team sport. Got to play a combat sport. Did any of them ever not want to do that, or is it just because it's pretty normal in your household?
No, they just did it.
Yeah. What if some parents do want to implement that, but their kids maybe not, or because mom and dad didn't do it, now they have to do it, and maybe they don't want to.
So just dumb it down. Like a team sport could be band. It could be anything. It could be cheer. It could be dance. It could be any of those. Combat sport, good old fashioned like hi-ya karate, man, like Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai. It doesn't have to be like my kids. I knew they would thrive on competition, so we went in on like, all right, you're gonna get punched in the face. Most kids don't want to get punched in the face. So when I say combat sport, I want to kind of clarify.
Thank you.
It doesn't mean you have to fight. But just do something, that's individual. Something individual. Something where it's them versus them.
Tennis
is great.
Yeah, swimming, track.
Yeah, just one where
race.
There's no team. There's no team. It's you versus the world. But if you can do a combat sport, especially in today's world, being able to have a daughter who can defend herself is likewise with bullying in school, knowing your kid can throw hands if he has to, I think that's a good thing.
Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. Sincerely appreciate it. We gave you a shit ton of things to talk about, so please drop those comments down below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. PowerProject.live for everything, including this hoodie. And make sure you guys follow the podcast at MB Power Project on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, where you at?
Discord's down below, guys. Go ahead and chime in. And also, If you're listening this on podcast platforms, leave a review. All right, just leave a review there. Let us know what you think. Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark
Lobliner everywhere, basically. Tiger Fitness on YouTube. Just Marc Lobliner with a C.
I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.